应该是有印象为我。
你怎么称呼？
最早
在你最新面前。
阿姨就开始。还有一个人吗？
对，还有一个是我们认识的。
他是猫的人，应该是拍到还有一个。
对，还有一个在海边的是谁？
看你玩的挺嗨。对，
这是山谷了。
我也不知道，我看下面很多咖啡 logo。
JD 对 JD，The Bullies。
我应该没有讲过。我加你，我应该也没见过。
我们是加过，我感觉actually 可能是加过别人。我们加一下微信还是开短？
微信。
从湾区回来，我时差还没打过来。
我也是，我从 LA 飞过来。
是吗？你是在 LA 吗？他那个 SBC
Stanford 的那个。
对对，然后在那待了1周，然后待了2周吧，刚回。我直接给你打开吧。
跑这么多，这么卷。
挺惨的，对，太卷了，我觉得没必要。
现
在那边有 office。
然后其实
我们有那个 Menlo Park
直接在这儿
Forsyth Team 的人也住一起办公，
然后他就
还是在哪儿？
没有老白跟我一起，我们一块儿出差去了美国，然后再出差回来。
那还有谁在那？
还有美国的几个同事，
对是的。
Alex，他们是平时都在美国，然后有2个男生，我们就是刚招的，然后。
Please have a seat, then we will start our afternoon agenda. Thank you. Okay, welcome back everyone. I hope you have a nice lunch break. Let's resume our event with the third panel discussion on Web 2 to Web 3, transforming the future of blockchain games. Please invite our expert to the stage. They were Edward Chen, Chara Sun, Jadi Li, Ming, and Doug Pen. Welcome back.
Hello. Hello.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah. So we just start, right? Sorry. Okay. Thank you for coming. It's been great honor to be here to join the Dev3's hackathon and sharing. And today we have a lot of great distinguished guests here. So maybe let me introduce Sarah. I think almost everyone know Sarah is to be our vice president of Huobi Group regarding covering BD and the listing side. And currently she's running her own fund, C Square Ventures, very active. I think one of the most active fund on the market, right? You wanna introduce something?
I'm Sarah Sun. Glad to be here. Founder and managing partner of C Square Ventures. We are a 100 million early stage Web3 investment firm. We are pretty much decentralized. A lot of my colleagues based in SF, East Coast, Europe, London, and I spend half of my time here and half of my time just traveling around. And like Edward said, we used to be colleagues at Huobi, and I managed listing, BD, investment, global markets for a few years there. And have a traditional finance background. I used to do management consulting with BCG in New York, focusing on the financial services area. And very glad to be here and support Dev3 and the whole hackathon. And we actually are co-hosting, and we're gonna have an event on the 15th. So if you guys have time, welcome to stop by. Thank you.
Okay, great. So next guest, Ming. Right? JD. Oh, JD. JD from Babu VC, right? Yeah, JD. I think we are also first time to meet. Maybe you can have a quick self-introduction.
Yeah, my name's JD from Baboon VC. I'm one of the partners there. We're early stage ventures based in Hong Kong. We typically do pre-seed up to Series A, sector agnostic, stage agnostic, and we generally do anything that comes in from Web 2.5 angle, and the vision is to bring mass adoption. My background is in crypto. I've been in the space for about 6 years now, but prior to that, I have a law degree and I was a lawyer.
Great. So you guys usually operate based in Hong Kong, right?
Yeah, sorry. So we are based in Hong Kong. We have a small team of about 5 of us. We're based in Singapore and Hong Kong, and then we kind of have floaters that are, traveling around at different conferences.
Great. So any directions or submarket you guys are focusing right now for the investment?
Yeah, so right now I think the thesis for us mainly and the vision is to increase mass adoption for crypto and for the industry. So anything that has kind of a little bit of a consumer angle, I think anything with a little bit of a gaming angle. And my favorite is the Web 2.5 thesis. So anything that's Web 2.5 that will be able to seamlessly transition into a Web 3 product. I think that's where the focus of us is.
Great. Welcome. Okay, next one, Ming. Hi, from Foresight Venture, right?
Yes. So thanks for having me. So I'm Min. I'm the partner at Foresight X. So Foresight X is the accelerator arm of Foresight Ventures. So we manage about 400 million AUM. We invested in over 70 projects over the past 2 years in almost all the verticals, with ticket size ranging from a few hundred K to a few million. And on the accelerator side, we provide each startup company that got accepted to our accelerator program with about 200K in funding, alongside a comprehensive spectrum of acceleration services. And more about myself, I just got into crypto like 100% of my time this year. And before this, I was the founding member and venture partner for Lighthouse Capital, which is a top 1 investment bank for Web2 startups. So I've been doing the Web2 investment and investment banking for almost 8 years before I got into crypto. So I would consider myself a typical Web2 person transition to Web3. I'm glad to be here and to meet with you all.
Great, welcome. Actually, I have a separate question for you later. Yeah, I'm very curious about that. Okay, so last one, Zoe from Action
Hello.
8 Adventures. Yeah, please do.
Hello everyone, I'm Zoe. Thanks for having me today. I'm the general partner of XA Ventures. For XA Ventures, we founded in 2020, and it's been nearly 3 years, and we have invested over 50 different projects. We cover the sectors from DeFi, GameFi, NFTs, infrastructures, to social FIs. Personally, I'm based in Los Angeles, and I have other general partners based in like Singapore, Dubai, and mainland China, in Shanghai, and in Beijing.
Okay, great. All right. So since today, for this panel, our main topics regarding the transforming of the future of the blockchain game. So we will more focus on the game side. But if we have extra time, we may discuss about some other topics. As everybody knows, right? So within the crypto space, regarding implementation layers, a lot of mature, successful cases, but also some very popular topic, but so far haven't been such established. So I think game is maybe one of the one. So it's the first question for all the distinguished guests here is, if looking back, maybe can you recall some of the prominent blockchain games from our past? So which, in your view, which gaming trend have become a long-lasting or become a more successful product format or business in the coming future? So maybe you can pick up any cases you have experience within Web3 world, or maybe some similar cases within Web 2.5. Everything is okay. Maybe start from Sarah.
I think it's really hard to just pinpoint for one singular trend, but it depends on how you define a successful blockchain game, I guess. So we had the biggest exposure on Web3 gaming, that is Axie Infinity, but because of the unsustainability of play to earn model, it didn't actually work, right? So it lost a lot of real gamers, and they're working on improving their business model and also their tokenomics. And we also had STEPN, which is a fit to earn kind of concept. Also had a mass adoption of the users and also very high-end users, high ROI users with high spending power. But I think Delphi Digital's recent research resonates with me. That's the play-fi concept. It's not just play to earn because it's already proven not being working. It only works in the up market with the short size of the design of the tokenomics. I think play-fi, which I think it kind of resonates with sports gaming, right? Like it's really to get started, but it's really hard to master. But all of the people who wants to play, they can with very low entry barrier, and they don't have to pay for anything, or they're not really there to earn. They're just there for the fun of the game. And then when they really get to master on one thing, more models will be unlocked, right? So they can actually earn money and be rewarded with well-designed mechanisms, just like basketball, right? Like everyone can play and it's fun, has a social aspects with it, and then NBA players can actually get paid and they can earn tickets, they can earn IP profits, and I think it's probably going to be a more sustainable model going forward. And the second trend I'm seeing is online gambling related blockchain based games. It's a very good design. It's like game theory, right? So I think with the right design to onboard mass adoption of users that actually has a advantage and core competency for run a more sustainable economics and model for mass adoption of users. Yep.
Yeah, great. Maybe JD?
Yep. So I definitely agree with the sentiment of the play to earn model. I think that's very played out, and the dual model with the tokenomics definitely doesn't work. That's why we had the rise of the guilds, and we had people like YGG coming in, where they would rent out the NFTs for people to play and earn money. I think that destroyed the market a little bit. I think that the next wave of games that come in has to be a content play, so from like a fantasy league sort of angle, where you can have a lot of other types of revenue that comes in, so whether it's from advertisers that come in and actually produce content for the players. And I think that that's kind of where the next iteration of blockchain gaming has to come into. I don't think that the play to earn models are going to be as sustainable as they were in the past. I think that the past bull market and where the token pricing was, it definitely made an impact on where people think that blockchain gaming is coming into. But for the future, I think definitely the next iteration has to be from a content kind of point of view.
Great. Maybe Ming?
Yeah, sure. I think besides the trends the other panelists have mentioned, like the X to earn kind of model, there were, as I recall, also a AAA game narrative just emerged, exampled by Illuvin. I think this chain and also together with the other models like free to earn by Limit Break, and also play and earn by some of the portfolios that we invested in. I think all these models, the whole idea is to add more gameplay to the blockchain game. Well, of course, a game is a game, right? You should have gameplay and it should be fun. So I think in the next cycle, we'll see like more blockchain games that are more fun. They actually have like gameplays. They will attract that real gamers. But I think the key, crucial thing to really make this work is to build the IP for the game, the intellectual property. Because we all know that the way forward lies in increasing value to the in-game assets. But without the IP, in-game assets will not have that much value. People will not be interested to hold or trade on the NFT assets. If that's the case, then game developers or companies cannot make money from the NFT trading fees, right? So I think whether it's like NFT trading fees replacing the X2 earn model is on on the perspective of merely business model, but on the game side, building a real game IP, I would think is the key to the next cycle's blockchain game booming.
Okay, yeah, IP is a very important thing. Maybe we can share a little bit. So because you have very great traditional investment experience, right? So since you cover both sides, you have the experience. So based on your current observation, I think you definitely look into the Web3 game as well. So do you see any good, projects or products which they think they have the potential, or they have very good IP, which they are considered to enter the Web3 space? Can you give us some good examples?
Yeah, sure. I actually see quite a few teams. They are pretty good Web2 or traditional gaming teams. They entered into Web3 space since last year, I would say. And one of them, a pretty good example is Mattress Fire. So who have built out the beta test. I've already played the game. It's a first-person shooting game. I think the quality is pretty good, and also they have pretty good NFT sales as well. So I think that's one of the good examples where teams try to build out a pretty good game, and also with a good IP. The IP is about the Web3 world, and also the value and the kind of like a metaverse that they created. That's one example. And from the investment point of view, I think for me, I will also look at some innovative areas or game genres that no others have built in the Web3 space before. For example, Foresight has recently invested in a party game, a Web3 party game. So we all know
Party game.
Yeah. So we all know Web2 party games, there are pretty good ones like Stumble Guys, which is pretty popular in Southeast Asia, and also Ekigo, which is made by NetEase. So yeah, I think that kind of provides the example of a good game genre, and there aren't so many people building party games in the Web3 before. So that's why we invested in that project recently.
Good.
So we're always keeping an eye on the innovative ideas and also innovative areas.
All right, then Zoe, any comments?
Yeah, I quite agree with Mings on the idea of the party games. Because if we take a look at the Web2 games on the mobile part, the social game is definitely one of the top among all of those. And that makes me think of the City Arena. That one was definitely one of the most successful games among Last Circle and also our portfolio projects. At the peak time, it reached 25 million users, and with the concurrent users at peak 150,000. I think one of the most important reasons to make them successful is because they were a mobile game, and they created the new paradigm shift that they can do the free to play the model, and they combine with play to earn. So even as the non-crypto users, you can actually play their City Arena game, and you can also earn the money. And you can just enjoy the game to have fun. And before they actually shift to Web3, they were already a successful game in the Web2 sectors. Before they shift to Web3, they have already had 8 million downloads in the Google Play. So it is a very successful games at the first place. It has a great playability and a great the data balance. And then it is a social game. It is like mobile that you can enjoy with your friends. And they have the free-to-play model. They actually realized in Last Circle already that play to earn won't last forever. Is eventually just a Ponzi. And I think that's why they were successful in Last Circle, and we keep on bullish on them.
Yeah, I can agree more. But I have an interesting question. So since there's a lot of games, so everybody right now is focused on how to have a sustainable business model for the game itself, right? Then the problem is why they still need a token to insert into their economic system. Because for any game, especially for top level, 3A level, from all the big factory or professional teams, they know how to build a very good economics by the just Web2 way. Then what's your thought about what's the real value of the token? How to combine this token into this traditional game ecosystem, economic system? Yeah.
Yeah, I think in the last circle, why there was too many in the GameFi projects that failed in the end is because they just simply translate the in-game credits to the tokens.
Yeah.
It didn't really think of the real utility and how to benefit users. So the life circle of the last GameFi projects will only last for like 6 months, and it eventually dies because of the Ponzi models. But we have also seen lots of new projects like booming from last year during the whole the bear markets. There were some of the professional teams from like top game companies like Riot Games. If you play the League of Legends, you definitely know them. They were trying to switch their professional game design, the experiences, and combine with the native Web3 the experiences to create better the token economics to benefit users and the non-crypto users. I think that will be the next mass adoption for the whole GameFi area. And for like last GameFi circles, I think the majority of the users are definitely from the Web3 sectors, and not so many of the real gamer or the non-crypto users that just come to the GameFi process to play game. But I think next circle, they will definitely bring more the non-crypto users, just as a gamer, just to play the game and enjoy.
Yeah, totally makes sense. Great, yeah. So let's move to the next question. So maybe as experts from traditional gaming, which embrace the Web3, so what shifts might we anticipate in the future blockchain games and the wider gaming landscape? Let me change to another question. This is too wide. Yeah, maybe from the investment angle, right? So for investor, we definitely want to support a builder, but also at the same time, we're looking for a very proper financial return for any cases, right? So as Zoe just mentioned, if we were looking for the game which they can really successful within a gaming space, then what to expect return for the game investment? So you want to get an investment from the just game revenue flow, or you want to get a return from the token itself? Because we see the Web3, we also have very strong liquidity within all the exchanges, right? So it's a combination. What's your current thinking when you make a deal or when you make a investment for the game? So how you calculate this hour? Sorry. Yeah, so how you calculate, how you expect the return of the case you want to do. So maybe for short term, for long term, because for Web3, the good thing is for token, we have a stronger liquidity, right? So we see a lot of projects, some of the projects, they have the token before the product is launched. Some of the projects, they have very mature product and then start to list the token, right? But so which you can gain definitely the return from token, but currently the market is also not very good, right? But from the game side, if you want to build a game just from Web 2 or Web 2.5 angle, then you can just make the money through the game's revenue stream. So what's your calculation when you make a judgment, when you choose the deal, when you choose a good product to invest, how you make this calculation, or how to make this calculation on this ROI or ROIC? Yeah. Me, Sarah.
So we don't think it's quite necessary just to have to launch a token because you want to. It have to make sense, right? Design, utility, and if they have go-to-market abilities for the token, is quite different from go-to-market for the product itself, right? And talking about the ratio, I guess, for equity and token. So recent investments are all safe plus token warrant, right? And then the ratio is all varies. So we are the team that actually focus a lot on due diligence on what value is going to be captured by the equity and what value is going to be captured by the token. And we need all of that to be clearly stated in whatever document will be signed, and also define ratio. We've seen token warrant and SAF and saves like 1-to-1 pack, but what's like, how do you define that 1-to-1, right? Whether it's like team portion, foundation portion, investor portion, or like the whole pie, 100% of the tokens, because it's impossible for you to offer 100% because you don't control 100%. A lot of tokens are actually being used to incentivize in the game itself, right? So I think a team that have very in-depth understanding of how the tokenomics actually work, it's one of the key area that we do this kind of due diligence on the investment. Yeah.
I think for us, I think like a lot of the games out there are launching tokens just for the sake of launching tokens, and I don't think that that's generally the model that we would agree with or invest into. Having tokens, I think, definitely does have to make sense. It has to make sense for the game itself, and just launching it just for a quick liquidity play doesn't really attract us into the investments. So I think for us, the main three things that we would look at is the team itself. So what experience do the founders have? What experience does the team have, and who are the team? What have they built before? General due diligence on the project itself, and on the actual background is very important. The financial standings are also really important for whatever team it is that we're investing into. But also in general, does the gameplay actually require a blockchain component? I think right now blockchain is a buzzword, AI is a buzzword, AR are buzzwords, and a lot of people are building to fit that narrative and to fit someone that will invest into them just because they may not be able to get investments from a Web 2 perspective. And I think it's important to define, do you actually have something that needs a blockchain component? And if it doesn't, that's okay too. You can build a Web 2 game and you can go on your merry way and do all of those things. So I think it's important to kind of have a look at take a step back and look at the great picture and see whether all of these things are applicable within whatever project it is that you're investing into.
Yeah, makes sense. Maybe me? Any?
Yeah, I mean, for early stage investors, yeah, definitely we want 100x in return, right? But
Yeah.
so at least I think this cycle is pretty different from the previous one. Is for the private market investors, this vesting schedule is pretty different from those that I heard in the previous cycle. So we definitely want the team, to be persistent in making the game, and we weigh very heavily on the game, on the team itself, even more than a game, I would say, especially for early stage investment, because they, if the team is good, they can pivot, they can have iterations on the product, and it will get better, right? If we look at game investment, there aren't so many very good game investors, even in the traditional world.
Yeah.
There aren't so many. BigCraft or Griffin, they are pretty good in both
Makers
Web
Fund.
2 and Makers Fund. They're pretty good in both Web 2 and Web 3 gaming. But I think their only investment logic is to look at the team. So they invest in all the top minds from the top developer once they resign and then get out to get into entrepreneurship. Because it's of high risk to invest in just one single game. So usually the game funds will invest in over 100 games, to bet against the odds. But for us, and especially for me, I think we really look at the teams. So we want the teams to have a good combination of good game experience, developer experience, and as well as the understanding of tokenomics and how the Web3 users are looking at the games. So that's what we are really focusing on.
Got it. It's still team and product driven, right? Strategy. Okay, cool. Zoe?
For us, we're really a long-term investor. One of our investment theory we have is to like a company we see projects for a long term and empower them the value while they grow. So we're actually investing not only in the crypto game itself, but also some of the gaming studios or some of our very early stage game that it doesn't even have a token model yet. And we can empower them and help them to design the tokenomics while they actually becoming more mature. So the token models we will help with them is to benefit users more. It's not only to issue the token and issue the token. And that's why we're also like focusing a lot on the quality, not only the quantities.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, so I think everybody focusing on the product, and you have different investment philosophy regarding no matter for equity or token, and if they have the token, if you can, the product, the team can really leverage the token's advantage, right? I think totally makes sense. But there's a upcoming question which I think majority of the game projects, or when we talking with games, we may consider, because besides the product itself or positioning of the game itself, the growth plan, the go-to-market part is also very important, right? So currently, personally, I see some different trend. Some of the project they may focus on use the traditional way to get the users because they think, oh, maybe currently the market is quite a winter, right? It's quite cold, right? A bear market, so we very low ROI to invest the marketing budget into the Web3 way. So I just use Web2 way, just to, for example. By using the paid advertisements, right? But some of the projects, we still saw them, they are using the more community-driven way to gain the users, right? We see some of cases happen recently as well. So from your opinion, from the go-to-market plan, so which way you think is more efficient or more reasonable right now, or it really depends, and how you as an investor, how you judge, right, when you're dealing with when you judge when you're talking with a product team, how you judge whether their go-to-market plan is reasonable or not. Sarah?
I think the beauty of Web3 is to engage with community, right? So I think the ability for them to engage community is like a key. So for any token promotion, we know working with key KOL is very, very important for promotion, and it's actually the most efficient way. Also, the way that we were using at will be trying to help our projects promote, right? And I think more than ever now, the developers and the players, the line between is blurring. So I think engage your communities for decision making of your game design, of your token design, and even for content creation is a key for go-to-market. I think storytelling and narrative is also important. How you communicate with different kinds of communities and key personnels in different languages. You have to tailor your contents to them. That's very important. How you communicate with developers and community leaders, exchanges, other studios, and distribution channels is all different. You have to understand what they're looking for and whether you have the ability to tailor for their needs and to provide a comprehensive partnership plan with them is very important. And I think fundamental is still about retention rate, right? Like even if you can bring them onto your platform, whatever you're doing, whether it's gaming or exchange or whatever you're doing, you have to be able to keep them. You have to actually convert them into your users and let them stay. So UI UX is a key here. And to have it more smooth, especially for gaming, we have a lot of Web2 gamers come into Web3, but it can be quite comprehensive, right? So we're seeing a lot of trends for different kinds of wallets, MPC or AA wallets, etc. It's actually helping with onboarding Web2 users and have them more educated of how to stay in the Web3 community and engage more. I think that's also a key that we evaluate.
Great. Jenny?
So my general thesis on all of this is that there's no one go-to-market strategy for, there's no one strategy that fits everything.
Answer, right?
Yeah, but the thing is, I think that it has to be organic, and so if if it comes across as inauthentic or inorganic, people are generally not likely to come and play. And it has to be very, very simple. So that's why for us, our favorite thesis is the Web 2.5 to Web 3. Because as soon as you make it that something is very familiar for people, then they are likely to come and on board. If you don't need to spend those extra dollars to make things into something that's Web3 native, and if they can onboard with a Web2 native kind of platform that has a Web3 backing to it, I think that that's where you have a winner, because then you don't need to spend those dollars in education, you don't need to spend those extra dollars in adopting, and you don't need to spend those extra dollars in recruiting. I think when you have that kind of a scenario, that's kind of where it's smooth sailing, and that's where you can increase mass adoption.
Yeah, makes sense. Nick? Yeah.
It's actually a very good question. It's very practical. Well, before looking at the go-to-market strategies, we'll really look at the market positioning the product has. So if it's like the position is in like anime game, well, as we all know, like MiHoYo is making like tons of like very high quality, very good anime games already. If you're using the Web 2 kind of way to acquire your customers, it's definitely not going to work. So I think the go-to-market strategy really depends on the market positioning, and you really have to differentiate to get your like first batch of users. And I think on the Foresight X point of view, we are here to help with the go-to-market strategies. We have about 10 people on my team, and they used to be like the CMOs of some Web3 projects, or even co-founders of the Web3 projects. Their experienced hands actually run Web3 projects, operations, and go-to-markets before. So, and we'll also, as you might have known, we also have the Foresight News, being the #1 APAC crypto media with over 2 million in page views. So we're pretty connected to all the media resources and PR exposure, and also like the influencers and communities originated in APAC. So that's one thing that we can really help.
Yeah, great. Very, very great.
Yeah, I think like for this kind of shift happens very organically, and it will eventually becomes two kinds of the different kinds of model exist for the same time. Because like in the last circle, everything just happens too fast. For a GameFi project, everyone aims to launch in 6 months. And you have to be a game developer company yourself. You have to be a game publisher. You have to be the game community, and you have to like do everything by yourself. But like for the traditional, the gaming industry is it's not actually be like this. There are traditional, like very professional game traffic distribution platform. They're very professional game publisher, only do publish, and they are like gaming communities. I think for like in the next circle, there'll be more and more roles like independently surviving the GameFi sectors. Like for example, we invested in the Embrace Studio, which was founded by the former CEO of Riot Games. They also founded the mobile game League of Legends. So when they do the Web3 games, they will actually try to launch the Web3 games in the traditional ways. They launch in the Indian the App Store, but with the token designs. It's because they actually know exactly where their users are and how the mobile users' behavior and their profile. So as a GameFi project, you have to know how your user profile is and where are your users, and just to choose the most benefits way for you to develop and promote your GameFi projects.
Great. I think it's similar point of view from me. Yeah, you find the product positioning first, and then we look at how to judge and if the go-to-market plan is right, and how we're gonna help them, right? But I think you just mentioned a very interesting another topic I really interesting, because within the Web3 game space we see a lot of platforms, not only games, right? When we're talking to some project, they say, oh, we are a builder, we build some game, but someone say, oh, we are building a distribution platform. But within the Web2 space, we already see a lot of very successful established platform like Steam, like Epic, right, and maybe Roblox, right? Everybody's talking about them. So what's your opinion? Is still, possible to it's just similar, like, because I've come from exchange business, right? So if you look at what traditional exchange, we see a lot of big players as well, Nasdaq, But in the crypto space, token, actually, at least a token asset space, we see it's a pure, brand new world with all the organic crypto asset, maybe exchanges. But from a game perspective, what's your opinion about it? Do you think it's possible to have a pure organic, game? A Web3 game distributor platform, it will become a very successful platform, or you think the Web2, power will cover this part, because we see some of the players, they are quite positive on Web3. So even some of them, they are not such positive, but some of them are already positive, like Epic Game, like Ubisoft, some big factory they are looking at in this part. So what's your opinion about it? Sarah? There we go. Okay, yeah, sure. Maybe Zoe? Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I think it's quite possible to have the Web3, the GameFi traffic distribution platform appealing. Because just take a look back on the data I just talked about Zeta Arena. At the peak time, the concurrent user was only 150,000. That was already with a user amount of 25 millions. So I think the crypto world, the native users are just quite small. But with the mass adoption coming, there will be more and more the individual traffic distribution platform for each of the sectors. Like for DeFi, for GameFi, for even like SocialFi, different sectors. Like I think for those kind of token ranking websites, they're kind of the DeFi traffic distributions at the very beginning when all those DeFi is coming, right? So I think there will be like also the GameFi distribution, the platform like appealing to.
Any potential player you think they'd be successful?
Yeah, we have actually kind of invested some of them, but they were not successful in the past year. So when they get more successful, I will let you know.
Okay, great. Ming?
Yeah, we're definitely bullish on the game platform. We actually invested in one, Xterrio. So and we invested in Xterrio pretty early on. I think it's the first round. I think the key difference between a Web2 game platform and a Web3 game platform is that Web2 traction is pretty centralized. So you have Tencent, you have like TikTok, their super app, right, on your phone, and they can distribute any content they want. But like in the Web3 world, it's quite decentralized. There's no such a thing like it's like the traction is so centralized, except other like the big CEX, right? So apart from the CEX, no other platforms like have very centralized tractions. So to build a very good Web3 game platform, I think the content really matters. So the traction will come if there are like top projects, launched on this platform. So that's why
it's like CS:GO towards the Steam, right? So you should have super
definitely.
game first.
Super games first, yeah, definitely. So for example, like Xterrio or other like game platforms teams that we have talked with, also the first priority is to get the top games on that platform.
Totally agree. JD?
So I think that there's actually going to be a merge between the two. So it'll be Web 2 plus Web 3. I don't think that Web 3 by itself or Web 2 by itself is going to exist in the state that it is right now. Web 2, Web 3 are already on the cusp of kind of merging. We're already on this migration path of Web 2 becoming Web 3. The first iteration of that was, the web becoming Web 2 and then the web becoming Web 3. And so I think that later on, as we progress and as this goes on further, and we're building Web 4 and Web 5, Web 2 and Web 3 platforms are just going to be terms that we're using, but they're actually not going to be really distinguished. It's just going to be a merge of all of these platforms, and they're just going to be platforms that are going to have games with different capabilities on them.
Great.
Blockchain gaming platforms, right? Different kinds of them. We invested in Gala, Immutable, and they're also my investors. I think they're doing pretty well in terms of understanding the definition of Web3 and the nature of Web3 users, right? And I agree to a certain point that the line between Web2 and Web3 is now blurring. But understand how to in detail operate users from a Web 2 mindset is very important. However, I think how you define Web 3, right? I think it's about ownership of your digital assets, and then also having the ability of interoperability that different assets can actually transfer within different games. And then thirdly is to have a smart contracts of your game logics all written. I think that's also the reason that Vitalik said he actually got very into blockchain is his favorite game's logic has been just changed by centralized authorities. So giving all of those aspects as very Web3 native, I'm still very bullish on Web3 platforms in terms of distribution, but definitely we've seen the help with Web2. So that will be conquered, I think, by acquiring just more Web2 talents. Like Xtereo, right? They were also my LP, Fun Plus. They have great backgrounds in gaming, traditional gaming already, and they also know how to onboard users and they understand user experiences and their preferences. So when they actually get into Web3 and launch a new platform, that would make sense. So it's not just about the builders and the capital, it's also about the talents that we can get from Web2 as well.
Yeah, totally makes sense. Great. Any how many time we left? Almost. Oh, there. Oh, great. Yeah. Thanks for everyone's time. I think maybe for the last one, because there's a lot of developers, builders here, and we know the game is not easy, right? So maybe for all the distinguished guests, investors, maybe everyone you provide advice for all the game builders. Maybe start from Sarah. Just advice. Yeah.
General advice for builders. So treasury management is the key, I think, in bear market. Understand your burn rates and manage a very healthy runway is very important. And don't trade with leverage, of course. And just keep on building. Thank you.
Great. Maybe JD.
I think it's important to have a good team, and also don't like have an in-house team. I think a lot of people they export out their dev capabilities, but I think it's important if you're building a game to have that in-house.
Great. Nate?
One advice I will have, especially for those like Web2 game teams transition to Web3, I think the very important thing is to figure out what your target audience is, like what your target gamers is. It's like only Web3 natives, or you want to target like both Web2 and Web3. That really changes the narrative, the products, and also the go-to-market strategy.
Great.
The advice I will have is find what you're really passionate about, and always think of the business model at the very beginning when you build the projects, and do the risk control. Always think of the burn rate.
Great. Okay, thank you everyone. Thanks Sarah, thanks JD, May and Zoe, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Okay, thank everyone's participation. So if you are good game builder, if you want to look for investment, please find our investors here. Okay, thank you. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, my camera here. Yes, good. 1, 2, 3, smile. Hold on. Just 1, 2. Okay, hold on. Last one. Okay, 1, 2, 3, smile. Yes, thank you.
Cool. Thank you.
Okay, well, many thanks to the speakers for the forward-looking discussion on the future of blockchain games. Our final panel session will explore the art of technology in real-world assets. Please welcome our next group of experts to share their insights. There are Zoe Zhang, Kevin, Franz, Jaden Chen, Jesse Barima. Welcome.
Jaden, JC, yes, and Barry. Okay, hi everyone. That's the last panel discussion for today. A quick introduction about myself. I'm ambassador of Dev3, and I also run the venture studio headquartered in Singapore. So I'll pass the mic to Kelvin to give a quick introduction.
Hello, I'm Kelvin. I'm the general partner for Plutus VC. We are a $200 million US venture fund started in 2016. So far, we have invested more than 300 projects in the crypto and blockchain world.
Hello everyone, I'm Francis from Udaya. We are a founding and incubation platform for various crypto projects. Our team has over 7 years of development experience in crypto, and also venture capitalists from Pyramid Ventures, and also some private equity industry experts. I'm happy to share.
Okay, thank you. So I'm Jaden. So I'm from Flow Traders. It's a very traditional multi-asset market making firm since 2004, established in Amsterdam. Also a listed company since 2015. So we work across like different like financial asset. For sure, like we're also into crypto, working on RSA, trading, market making, investment. I'm based in Hong Kong, so basically cover like all the Asia stuff, investment, and also like other relationship and partnership stuff. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, thank you. I'm Barry. I'm currently working as an investment manager at LYF. So a little bit introduction about our fund. We are a very young fund. We opened shop in last June. So we majorly focus on the early stage investments in Web3. We will also do some kind of incubation and advisory to Web3 projects. And our team is not big size. We're still growing. We have professionals from Web3 backgrounds or TradFi backgrounds. So I would say we are kind of good mixture. And before joining LYF, I used to work as a security engineer and smart contract auditor at Binance. And then realizing my interest is at the intersection of investment and technology, and which drives me to join LYF. So glad to be here.
All right, okay. So then the first question for this panel is, our theme is RWA. So, the core idea of RWA is basically to create a virtual investment vehicle on the blockchain linked to tangible assets such as real estate, precious metal, arts, and collectibles. So recently, RWA has gained significant momentum, not only addressing the weakness of TradFi, but also lowering the investment thresholds of TradFi as well. So what do you see as the main challenges in RWA, and what are the major regulatory and legal challenges for RWA, and how do we properly address them? So maybe we start with Kelvin.
That's a huge question actually. So first of all, I think RWA has a huge potential, and it has, although we have been talking about STO, tokenizations of assets and so on for a long time, but the minute you touches securities, it touches on the 100-year-old law and regulations everywhere in the whole world. Securities is the only assets or investment thing that is fully regulated. So you face with these challenges that you need to be licensed or to be regulated. That would be one of the main challenges towards moving on board. Of course, today we see that there's a lot of people who tries to do RWA by escaping the security path, such as launching an NFT that allowed you to access to a commodity, such as in Thailand, you will see a lot of cannabis. You are able to get one NFT equals to one pot of cannabis, right? So these are ways that you can actually escape. But by escaping, so you're also not giving out the true value to RWA investment assets, such as if you ask me, okay, am I buying the NFT? Do I get the proceeds from the weed that you're going to sell and so on? I won't be able to answer you that yes, you will get a profit share or an interest or a dividends sharing. If I say that, I really violated the Securities Act anywhere in the world itself. So if you are regulated, you'll be able to say so. I think that's the biggest challenge.
Yeah. In our point of view, RWA asset depend on how you define the term asset. Like in crypto industry, like in the past 4 or 5 years, a lot of creative developers create a lot of virtual asset like NFTs or whatever, on-chain, off-chain, and people trade them. But the major challenge here is that the eternal intrinsic value for those assets are hard to say. So first of all, that many people do not benefit from those assets, and secondly, the participants has a tendency to overtrade every asset. Like the price determines the value, and the price just go higher and higher. But in the real world, the financial assets, the main goal is to benefit the majority of people, such as like for a lot of currencies, they are used to boom the exchange of different physical assets to improve people's lives. So this is, I think, one of the challenges, that don't be over financialized in all of the assets, but focus a little bit more on real value of how people could really benefit. Like one of the projects we're discussing currently has a very I think exciting slogan or value which we could share. The slogan is like "Bank the Unbanked." So what is unbanked? Unbanked is a lot of people like in the real world that don't have access to a lot of financial services and assets and payment and stable currencies. These are what real people want. So this is something I think could be like lasting for 10 or 20 years. This is something we highly respect for some real value created in the real world, and it could be accessed through digital currencies or through online networks that could benefit a lot of people. Yeah.
Right. So bank the unbanked. That's a cool slogan.
Yeah, I actually like it, bank unbank. Yeah, but yeah, I totally agree, right? That's a very huge topic. I would say from like a RWA tokenization perspective, I mean, especially like as me being from like a very traditional market making firm, very active in like the ETF, ETP products. I mean, there's a lot of like legal and regulatory, I would say, uncertainties that we are still facing. Even like, I mean, currently we see the majority, I would say, RWA platform is actually focusing on T-bills or like money market funds, or even like in Hong Kong, we see a lot of like interest from like tokenization of like ETF or whatever stuff. I mean, since Hong Kong have like a couple regulated exchanges coming up recently, right? I think the most difficult part is like if we are going to like tokenize any of those financial products, there's a lot of questions. For example, how are you going to do the creation and redemption? What is the operation flow? Or is like who is being qualified as one of the custody? I mean, a lot of like these kind of regulatory questions are still uncertain at the current period of time. We definitely see a lot of like interesting projects in the market. For example, like Onto Finance, which is one of our portfolio projects, doing like short-term T-bill products tokenized. They're also like getting a bit of like regulatory certainty from like somewhere, from some regulators, but still like I would say still a lot of things which is remain uncertain. I mean, even regulators, they still only trying to catch up with the trend. They also take time to like, okay, how could we regulate the stuff? I mean, it could be like from, I would say, a wallet, I would say KYC perspective. It could be from like AML perspective or the SOP. I mean, they also take time. They need like some like expertise like from the space to like give them an idea how is that going to be done. But I mean, totally agree. I would say tokenization, RWA is actually the next generation of the whole capital market or the security market. I mean, that's not only like we agree, even like the traditional financial giants like BlackRock, Fidelity, they're also like mentioned the exactly same stuff. So that is like what we are thinking in our mindset at the moment.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so firstly, I agree what the other speakers say. Firstly, it's about the regulations, and because it is very unclear currently, even though it is centric based on Americans' security law, but for other countries, they are very fragmented. They haven't reached a global consensus on how to launch a complete regulations on governing the digital assets, and then further about the RWA. And then another thing I think that would definitely be AML and KYC, because we definitely cannot afford the protocols to attract some kind of black money from the market and then invest into the RWAs. That would be very huge disadvantages, because you kind of have money from on-chain and then you invest in the assets from off-chain. That would be kind of troublesome. And the third thing I think we would consider a big challenge would be how to protect investors, because sometimes, firstly, those RWA protocols, they are similar to DeFi protocols. They may fail into insolvency for the projects, or they even may perform rug pull to steal money from their investors. That's first thing. And the second thing is that, there are already some private credit on-chain protocols. They're lending money to the borrowers, but sometimes those borrowers, they fail to repay the money. So the projects, they also need to build a very mature compensation mechanism to protect the investors to make their money safe and sound.
Right. Okay. So so after we speak about the regulatory aspect, what's the primary value of turning real assets into RWA? So what do you see as the actual value that it brings in terms of the tokenization process of the real world assets? So yeah, we start with Kelvin.
Okay. First of all, we are looking at a $4 trillion market, RWA. This is going to be a $4 trillion market by the year 2030. So it's a huge market over here. So there are plenty of values moving into RWA. It depends on what kind of projects, what kind of products, or what kind of investment that you are planning for RWA. So let's just take properties as an example. So everybody sitting here, maybe half of us are able to buy a condo hotel in Phuket Island, which costs today is about 300,000 US, right? But how about many of the crypto investors in Vietnam, Thailand, Indonesia? These are the people that has been buying all the projects tokens everywhere around the world and so on. They won't be able to buy, they are not the target audience to buy a $300,000 condo hotel in Phuket Island, Thailand, right? But by fractionalizing and tokenizing a single room, everybody today is able to afford. Let's say if I'm pitching to all of you to buy a condo hotel and I tell you that it's $100 thing. So everybody here are able to part with $100 thing. You just don't go on a date for one night, right? So that is one of the key benefits of RWA, whereby you actually have a much bigger target audience of buyers, apart from just your original target audience. That's one of the biggest benefits of RWA. And to be much better is that once you tokenize your property, you actually open up, you are making the illiquid become liquid straight away, because you are able to trade it openly, globally. Everybody, if I don't like the yields that the hotel is providing me 5.5% per annum, I can just sell off my $100 token to the next person who wants a 5.5% yield per annum. But if you own a property in Thailand or in Singapore, try selling it in the next 6 months. You need literally more than 6 months before you are able to let go of your condominium or your apartment, right? But by tokenizing it in using RWA, you literally are able to make the illiquid liquid.
Okay. So increase of demand and also liquidity value.
And the new buyers.
Okay, increase of demand. So yeah, Francis.
Yeah, definitely agree with Kelvin. Like the RW really opens a lot of new audience, and also it's about increasing access to the global assets. I would just want to add another great value I think RWA could add to the traditional finance market is standardization and easier purchase behavior for normal individual investors, because like a lot of people want to trade stocks in U.S. market. I don't know if you open a stock account in the U.S. It requires a lot of like KYC and complicated overviewing procedure. It would takes about like 3 to 4 weeks. But like if you can tokenize some of the companies' equities onto RWA exchange, the access barrier is so much lower. So it simplifies a lot of those guardian gates for individual investors, which is also part of the democratization of finance. Like despite your nationality or your position, your place, geography, you could get access to the best assets around the world, and also answer to the new lifestyle of digital nomads, whether you want to live in other countries or want to possess some assets in other currencies. This is one of the great values. And also a lot of bonds. Many individual investors don't have access to the bonds price or the buying access of them. But those bonds are usually very good quality and could have a stable yield of 3 to 8% every year. It looks a little low in the bull market, but in bear market it should be also a great way for people to store their tokens or their ETH or BTC. So in that sense, if you can standardize a lot of those assets and on-chain to be able to exchange with online tokens, it will open a huge door for people to get access to the traditional, very fragmented and very opaque market of different financial vehicles to deploy an asset. So these are the two things I think add most value.
Okay, so Jayden. Well, maybe starting from the next two speakers. So as we mentioned about liquidity that's being increased, but would that also invite speculation and hence make it more pro-cyclical given the enhanced liquidity of trading? So maybe
I would say from a trading perspective, because it's like, to be honest, I totally agree with the both of us, right? It's like liquidity is the main attraction for the RWA tokenization, right? So with more liquidity, I would say there will be definitely, more volatility for the pricing level. That is for sure. But at the end of the day, that is how the capital market play, right? And that is also why we need some kind of regulation to handle any sort of market manipulation, those kind of stuff. Because literally at the end of the day, the most difficult part for RWA tokenization, one of that major difficulty also involve how do you value those products? The valuation of the products is kind of a complicated issue because we don't have such of the stuff in the market before. So that is one stuff that we have to handle. But I guess the regulation, given more certainty, I don't think I would say the volatility or the fluctuation of pricing will be the issue to block the potential of the RWA tokenization stuff. So that is definitely I agree. And I would say, to be honest, literally we cover majority of the advantage in my opinion. That I would say the reduction of the transaction costs, also removal of the intermediaries, and also the composabilities when every asset goes on chain, we given it's become more like a Lego, just how we are playing with the DeFi market right now, also adds more potential to the future of the RWA, because currently it's going to be very tough, right? If you're going to having a hotel or rent or whatever real asset, how are you going to deal with all those kind of borrow lending? It's a long process. But if you make it on chain and then combine with the current DeFi applications, it's gonna be very easy and very a standardized stuff. So that is also what I can think of in a short sense.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I totally agree with what Jayden is is saying, because RWA, after tokenization, they have a very good composability with the current DeFi infrastructure. For example, we used to go through pipelines like they are tokenizing the securities, the bonds on chain, and then they build the DeFi AMM pools to help the users to trade those tokenized assets on chain. And I think to some extent they will also accelerate the trading, the liquidity of the asset, because if you're creating a new secondary market on chain, then the whole activity is based on the on-chain transactions, then there would might be some kind of price difference between the on-chain bonds and the off-chain bonds, which creates potential opportunities for users to do arbitrage if they can tokenize the external bonds into the current AMM pools. And of course, I think other benefits or things that the DeFi or RWA can bring to the current market is that they can make use of the smart contract to automate the process without the participation of the middleman, and which greatly increase the trading efficiency.
Okay, so we move on to the next question. So how do consumer rights be protected in RWA assets, and what are the risks that's associated to trading RWA and also usage of RWA?
Start there first.
So yeah, so maybe we start with Barry.
Yeah, so I think the risks, as I mentioned, because there are kind of security risks existing in the current DeFi protocols. So RWA also share the same kind of loopholes with potential loopholes with the DeFi protocols. But and in terms of other risks, and I think firstly is the projects sometimes they do not have the correct ability to maintain the position of the users, especially when for private credit protocols. As I mentioned, they are lending the money to the borrowers in the real world, but sometimes because of the correlation with the macroeconomics, the borrowers may fail to repay the money. Like recently, there has been an example of the Goldfinch protocol, who actually have a bad debt of $5 million because they lend the money to a motorcycle manufacturer in Africa, but then they fail to repay the money. And even because they collateralize their cash as the collateral to borrow the money. And so Goldfinch isn't actually taking control of such kind of cash, and the borrowers actually also move the cash from the control of the Goldfinch protocol, so which also increased the difficulties for such kind of private credit protocols to recover the money for the users. So I think that's kind of some very important thing that we need to focus on fixing. Currently, I think the DeFi Legos are already kind of mature, but we are lacking kind of regulations or effective methods to protect investors' rights, and to the same old thing as to keep their money safe and sound. Yeah.
So you think it's still lacking?
Yeah, I think in terms of the regulations and some kind of protection methods, it's still lacking.
Yeah, I agree, to be honest. Right. I feel like I'll also give a soft touch on two things. One is, I would say, for RWA tokenization, I mean, we seems like talking quite a lot on the TradFi financial asset, like securities or bonds, all those kind of stuff. But I mean, when we also if we consider like tokenization of like I would say real estate or even like art or like collectibilities or like other IPs, then we're gonna be more issues, because it's like it also touch on the the ownership of the products, right? But however, at the current stage, I would say the RWA tokenization still don't have a very clear idea on how to make sure like the product, let's say if you're owning like a certain percentage of the tokenized asset, how do you define whether you are owning that product or not from like a real world perspective? So that ownership part is still not yet fully, I would say, clear. That is one thing. The second thing is also like when we are doing more and more like real world asset tokenization, real world asset protocols, we have to consider more and more like off-chain factors. That include like probably macroeconomics, probably like other like financial data, all those kind of stuff to make as a whole to think about like the default risk, all those kind of like other broad lending protocol, the risk parameters that we will have to consider. So I would say the on and off chain Oracle part is also like not yet fully I would say mature right now. So it's still those kind of like I would say factors we still have to I would say optimize a little bit before we can make it like a more like utilized DeFi protocol or DeFi Lego and to interact with the real asset. Yeah.
Okay, Francis.
Yeah, agree with the Oracle part because like in the traditional financial market, you have something like Bloomberg to tell you the real-time price of a lot of bonds and stocks and whatever. And the ultimate trustiness of these platforms are from their brand and also from the legal entities which those companies are assigned in. So if it's fully decentralized into the crypto world, it will cause some additional risks such as like who to determine the price of certain financial assets, which is like a real world asset, and some of the platforms will try to manipulate the price and to get additional arbitrage opportunities against the individual users. So that's one of the big like risk for consumers. So some of the projects are trying to experiment on the open source and decentralized way of price machine. We want to see more of those, like more openness and more fair like oracles for the real world asset. And also another thing is some companies are doing the bonds and also the tokenization of certain liabilities. It involves a lot of like field work. It's not just online small companies capability. It could be involving a lot of like if the off-chain assets are defaulted, who will take charge of those assets and who will take the ultimate risk. It is a big thing and it's a complicated one. So maybe despite all the online DeFi and also the other trading aspects of the assets, the actual like redeem or the like default of the assets are posting a lot of consumer like challenges, which in my mind is also essential for people to solve.
Okay, I'm going to give a different opposite direction of the other three speakers. I feel differently about RWA in terms of risk. I think that in RWA, the risk is actually controlled, right? So what you are all speaking, you are not wrong in a way that because you are still linking it back to DeFi, totally decentralized, no governance and so on. But when you touch RWA, you are talking about being licensed and regulated. And what is being licensed and regulated? Today we buy crypto. If that guy robbed us, what can you all do? Can somebody answer? Nobody can answer anything because there's nothing we can do. We can just suck it up. All right? Write a few posts. Hey, that guy is a bad guy. He's a scammer. That's all you can do. Because we signed a SAF. Right? SAF is for tokens. But in RWA, that is a security. If he robbed us and if the RWA regulated the whole entire path is done in a proper way, somebody is going to jail. That is the biggest difference. The risk in buying a crypto token and buying a real world asset securitized token is totally different. Okay? That's my take on this itself. If you properly tokenize a real world assets in the right way and have it regulated with the right custody, which usually people custody it with trust company, and the trust company only recognize even if the company goes bankrupt, the trust company recognizes the token holders as the rightful owners of whatever assets that has been tokenized. And if there is wrongful usage of the funds, right? If the legal process is done properly, somebody is going to jail. It is not a crypto project that nobody is going to jail.
Right. But has RWA assets been, advanced or, legally enforceable to this extent that you think that's able to uphold the benefits, the rights of the token holders at the moment?
I think at this very moment, a lot of big companies is jumping onto this. In Singapore, you have ADDX, which has already tokenized a lot of funds and so on. There's not going to be misappropriation of this money. Okay? Singapore and Hong Kong is leading the race. I think Singapore 3 or 4 license has been issued, really doing this. One of them has been acquired by FormoPay, right? And then in Hong Kong, 3 licenses has been issued, and we should be seeing something happening this year itself. And they are working with lawyers to make this RWA or assets tokenization, real world assets tokenization, foolproof. Because the government would not allow you to have a tokenized security token license and you have holes inside it that people can just launch a project, take $2 million away, thank you very much, you guys have just been robbed, that guy is going to jail. So, and RWA is not just about properties, arts. You can tokenize your company shares. The former panel about GameFi, we talk about tokens, that should you launch a token for the sake of launching a token? But actually, if you do not launch a token, how are you going to raise your money? Right? Then you have to go back to Web 2 to raise money for GameFi. But in this sense, if you think about it, that if you have a good game and you want your users to be your shareholders, you can actually classify a different class of shares and tokenize those shares for people to support your game or your game studio and so on. That is also another method. So this whole thing, I think in the next 5 to 10 years, securities tokenization is going to disrupt a lot of markets and put probably some stock exchange out of business.
Wow. So given this huge wave of real-world assets advancement, what new business models you think will follow following this innovation trend, and what jurisdictions do you think would make these developments faster? So we start with Kelvin.
New business.
Yeah, new business model.
I don't think so there will be new business model. There's always new channels, right? New ways to raise money. As per what I said just now, if you own a GameFi company, before this, 2017, 2020, your best way to raise money is to launch a utility token. And then you got to reserve 20 to 30% of whatever you raise to maintain your token price. Right? If somebody who doesn't understand this, then you better don't launch a utility token, because no token investors will give money to you. Right? But that's not the way that we are supposed to do it. So this could be a new way that you could actually raise money. Right? It could be a new way that you could actually raise money and to securitize your project, securitize your shares. Okay? I strongly believe this will happen, because eventually the tokenization process is going to disrupt every single market and business globally and change how people invest.
Okay. Francis?
Yeah, I think one of the aspects of new business models, it's a very, like, business model compiles a lot of parts, like how
who the buyer is and who the seller is. But I think one fundamental thing is about personal or organization's credit score. Because if you're doing like online tokens trading, you can be like anonymous. Okay, you could be anonymous, but if you're buying real assets, who can determine if you're a credible investor of those assets, and who can like kick you out if you're not credible enough, if you do some fraud before? Are you eligible for a good class of assets? So how to determine the user's credibility while at the same time protect the privacy, and also do it in a like crypto way, which also protect your own assets and your data security is a big market, I think. And these are like banks or like KYC companies in the real world, but they will emerge in a new way of like service providers or online ID companies to provide those fundamental data for all RWA companies.
Yep. To be honest, I honestly can't think of also like a lot of like new business models. I mean, yeah, when talking with like we were asset tokenization, because I mean, at certain point, tokenization of real world assets is just like another different layer of like asset class. So it's like originally it could be like, let's say for shares, on a super early stage it's probably like just like a paper, right? And then it becomes like somehow an electronic way, and then right now it becomes like a tokenized electronic way. So it's like fun. It's just like a different way of channels or different way of like format for the financial asset, which is also like trading in different way. So I would say the tokenization RWA definitely like provide more like I would say efficiency, more like reduce the transaction costs in the future that we can tap into the whole market. The one thing I only can think about is I would say still the composability, because currently I think like we can still do that, but it's working in a very I would say complicated and like time consuming way. Because let's say if you're going to like you're holding let's say 10 million of like share, and you want to collateralize the share and then like lending money, you can do that. But probably you have to go to like investment banking, prime brokerage, a lot of different kind of stuff, go to do a lot of different kind of KYC, a lot of paperwork, then you can probably do that. But if given that, let's say if you can emerge it, right? If you can do it in a way that right now I have like a tokenized, let's say whatever stock, and then you can do it, do the collateral through like Aave, through like Compound. I mean, you could literally do that like within like I guess half an hour or 1 hour, depends on whatever like I would say additional KYC work or sophisticated traders or sophisticated KYC that we have to do. There may be additional thing that we have to do to give like more investor protection, or maybe in the future there will be a permission pool for dealing with all those kind of stuff. But still, at the end of the day, it will be a way more efficient way to do all those kind of like Lego work. So that is the business model that I can think of. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree with what other speakers are talking about. So firstly, it's about the composability, because we can interface the RWA tokens to other DeFi, more Web3 native DeFi protocols. Like for instance, we can use RWA as collaterals to borrow money from like MakerDAO, what they're doing right now. And infrastructure-wise, there definitely can be credit score, oracles or evaluation API to evaluate the trustworthiness of the borrower. And then there will also be some kind of oracles who transmit the safe and trustworthy data of the price of, let's say, a bond or a stock that has been securitized on-chain, because that's the only way that we can perform a real-time, very quick price tracking of the on-chain asset. And yeah, I also agree what Kevin said, that it opens new channels, because actually these kind of businesses, they have been operated in the traditional financial systems for over decades. But I think they are open to a more broader audience, like for instance, the crypto speculators, especially in the bear market, because the DeFi use is not as high as the previous bull market. So many crypto traders, they want to turn to like U.S. Treasury bills, tokenized Treasury bills, to earn a more risk-free income from the U.S. T-bills. So I think, definitely that would open more channels to welcome a broader audience, and then definitely increase the TVL of all these kind of RWA protocols.
Cool. Right, so because of time constraints, so maybe just wrap up quickly. Because we have a lot of builders, hackers in the room, so maybe what advice or any sector within RWA that you see as good opportunity, so just a very quick advice to the builders.
As builders, I think the most important thing to you, apart from building a good product, is to raise enough money, right? Because without money, you won't be able to build anything at all. So RWA securitized token is one method that you can think about to raise your next funding, because utility token is dry.
Okay, so RWA is sexy and utility token is dry.
My advice would be RWA is such a huge topic. It could usually mean the entire traditional financial market. So know where your initial market is, no matter if it's a country or if it's a certain group of people, and think deeply into that. Don't spend too much resource on scatter the resources on a lot of things. Just focus on your clients.
Yeah, so from my perspective, I actually very aligned with the previous panel. I would say the team is the most important things, I would say. So whenever we're looking into any investment, looking into any projects, I always look at what is the vision, what's the mission, what's the value, or the long-term value for the team. That is one thing. So you have to clear what you're going to build in short term and in long term, because majority of the project right now I see is okay, I know what you're doing in short term is a AMM. Then after AMM, what is it? For investor, we all have resting period, we all have a lockup period, right? So, but it seems to me okay, after 4 years, there is nothing. Then so that is the major issue. I hope every team will have a long-term vision, what you are trying to do. If you are building DeFi, how you're going to correlate. And for us, the future of DeFi, whatever stuff is definitely correlated with RWA. So in your mind, how are you going to deal with it? And then how are you going to deal with the liquidity issue? And what is in your mindset to deal with the compliance issue? So as long as you have a clear idea on that perspective, to me, that would be an interesting project.
Yeah, I think from my personal perspective, I would like to emphasize your network and your resources, because currently we're witnessing more traditional finance tap into the area of RWA. No matter it is invoice financing, supply chain financing, then T-bills tokenization, we can see more and more traditional players in this field. So I would say, if you are a more Web3 native projects, you can offer the technology of Web3, then I think the best way to do it is you can become a technology service provider or solution provider that you can sync with those traditional finance, traditional institutions. You can offer your technology, simply smart contracts, oracles, other stuff to them, for them to create their own liquidity pools, for them to make use of their own networks, their resources to attract a broader audience. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. That comes to the end of our panel discussion. So thank you to all the speakers. We'll take a photo quickly.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, smile. Hold on, let's go again now.
Nice to meet you.
Okay, thank you for your wonderful insight sharing, and we have now completed the panel session. Next up is a highly anticipated project showcases and judging season. First, let's welcome our esteemed judge from session, including Ali, partner of Bixing Venture, Bruce Lan, partner of Bing Venture, Sierra, founder and managing partner of C Square Ventures. Molly, lead of Foresight X. Jaddy Lee, partner of Boo VC. Karen, general partner of Klutz VC. Ryan, founder and managing partner of ALS8 Ventures. Aaron Zhang, investor partner of Zolf Partners. Jesse, investment manager of MT Capital. Michael Jin, investor of OP Capital. Jaden Chen, investor and BD lead of Flow Traders. Alex Ward, senior solution architect of Alibaba Cloud. Wang Hao, CFA Chief Operating Officer of MetaBank. TY, Director of MetaTrust. Dennis, Chief Security Officer of Mind Network. Vincent Chen, Senior Developer of Kobo. Arthur, Director of Hoop. Stacy Shi, CMO of Mindfulness Capital. Give them a round of applause. Well, our judge will now evaluate each project based on 5 criteria, such as technical aptitude, creativity, utility, playability, and design and proposal show. Each team will have a 10 minutes presentation followed by a 5 minutes Q&A. After which project teams will have a chance to network and receive a feedback from our judges. Please also note that we have sent the scoring from into judge Telegram group chat. And just please mark your scoring for each project within 5 minutes after each project finish up their presentation, as this will allow us to quickly tabulate each participating team's score. And the brilliant teams who will present their innovative hackathon project, including on-site teams. Gameland, which brings revolutionary social data analysis solutions to the gaming ecosystem. US3R Network, a decentralized development platform that provides toolkits and enhancements to help developers easily build off-chain storage solutions. Web3 Events, a global Web3 event platform for mass adoption. Gubby World, an AIGC autonomous world where users can raise AI characters, create scenario and collect experiences by turning idea into prompt. SourceDAO aims to break the traditional subordinate work model by promoting a new labor relationship for Web3 based on DID and SBT, enabling more flexibility and efficiency in online teams. SoftGPT, AI Small Math Teacher, an AIGC math teacher designed for extracurricular tutoring, academic competition, and higher education. TickBridge, a decentralized full-chain bridge protocol and integrate cross-chain asset training and management. We are eager to see the creativity those hackers have produced over the past few months. And now, let's invite our first hackathon team, Gameland, on stage to present their project. Welcome.
Hello everyone, my name is Vincent from the gaming team. Actually, Gameland try to build a gaming community to bring a bridge to connect the game studio and players. Now, in 2023, now we incubated by OSCamp. They come from India and Dubai, and we also accept by NVIDIA Inception programs. Now we also BNB Gold partners. Yeah. And we try to solve some problem for player. Now it's very difficult for them to aggregate their on-chain data to build up their profiles, to to pick up the profile to connect with the other player, and it's very difficult for them to show off their reputation, on-chain reputations. Yeah, we try to help them to build up their profiles, and for the game studio, they had to spend a lot of time and high cost to get the analysis report, and still wait for a long time to get the report, so they can make the market strategy immediately and try to improve to do some promotions in the markets. Yeah. And so this is our function, try to solve this problem. First, we help the player to build identity on chains, so they can use the identity as an NFT. Yeah. So they can use the NFT to connect with the game studio. Okay. A player identity as an NFT, so they contain the on-chain data. So they can use the NFT to connect with the game studios to show off their game achievement, on-chain reputation, and their access and a rich game experience to connect with them. And second part is we will provide a search engine for the user to use. This is a tool for user to use. They can only use the smart contract address to search any game's data, market data and player profiles on our platforms. And the last, we provide a plugin for the game studio to use to integrate our analyze module into the game ecosystem, so they can get the analyze data in the game, so they quickly can be to provide high quality games for the players. So the game ID, so the player ID will use the unique game ID, to bond with them. So the game ID will obtain the on-chain data and off-chain data, included social game track and social graph. So this game ID is open source. Any game studio can integrate our game ID in their game as a logging components. So the user can use the game ID to log into the game. So the users can protect the privacy in the other game in the other games ecosystems. Yeah. So the player can manage the on-chain data. So they can use the ID as the proof of the gamer and as the on-chain reputations, and also they can as the games alliance. Yeah, this is our tool. Now we provide a tool for users to use the game ID, address, labels. Yeah, these labels is new things for everyone because you can use the label to search the same interest with you, the players. So you can connect with them, talk with them, try to ask them to join your game, maybe test your game, provide some high quality feedback for game studios. Yeah. And then we will collect all the data from almost 20 data provider, and then we show off your player profile and game reports. You can also compare with the different games, better understand the situation in the markets. So the gamer can get the deep insight about the player activity, the graph, and the community. So the game studio can get more quality, can customize the game market strategy based on our data. Yeah. And this is Gameland plugin will provide the structured data analysis tools for user to game studio to integrate into the game. And second part, you provide player profile logging component for game studio to use, because user can use the component to log in the game, so they can bring the other games experience to the other games, so they can build up the new profile in other place. They don't need to build the social graph in other games ecosystem. Yeah. This is our structure. The bottom we will collect all the data from different event, public chains, and in the middle we will try to use the AI algorithm to analyze all the data about, include the transaction data, player data, relationship, game data. We also will keep the data privacy and the buttons, all the user can use our service just like game graph, play graph, game reputation, game ID, and real-time analyze modules. This is very helpful, very useful for the player at game studios. Now this is our competitor. We are completely different with the competitor. We are not only a tools, we also is a community. Now we have a strong community in India and Dubai. We can help the game studio to build up the C communities. Yeah, we can help them to develop the India markets, so they can attract a lot of users in the other place, not only Vietnam, Philippines. They also can open in the Indias. This is our partner and investor. Now we cooperate with the BNB Chain, Galaxy, Columbia, Agent, Metro Indians. We also have service for some game studio. My neighbor Alex, Game 7, OP Hummies, and MBLK. Yeah. This is our trust. Now we already analyzed almost 200 games and almost service a game studio. And now already have 5 games to communicate with them. Maybe we will sign the contract at the end of this month. Yeah, and we all have 400,000 player address and estimate we have 85,000 revenue at the end of the year. Yeah, now we partner with the ICT Lab and BNB Chains. We also got some enterprise Columbia incubations. Yeah. This is the next step. We'll develop the game ID based on the ERC-6551 protocol to pick up the game ID. Due to the time, I will skip. And this we will build open insight. Yeah, we will allow the user to provide the analyze module on our platform, so the game studio can select all the open module on our market. So the provider can get the fee from our market, and the game studio can, based on the need to select different module to analyze the data, they can get a different report on our platforms. Okay, this is our team. Our team have 4 to 8 years experience on blockchain, and my name is Vincent. I have 6 years blockchain experience. Yeah, Lexin has 4 years blockchain full stack developer experience, and Alice is 8 years game community. Yeah, Sky is data expert. Okay, this time we try to raise seed round is 4 millions. Try to use the market and develop and team buildings, infrastructures, and yeah, this we will try to give the 10% tokens. And this is our gaming token economy, and all the token we use try to data analyze, data security, customer service, and data permissions. And we will also charge some transaction fee on our platform. And this part is split into 2 parts. One part we use in the community, and the next will as a reward for the users. Okay, this is our use case. On-chain game is very helpful. Our tool is very helpful for on-chain game. Many people can use our on-chain game tool to integrate into on-chain game. They can do a player list, a player profile, data analyze, and social graph. Yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Any questions for this program? Well, okay. Thank you, Team GameLand, and for showcasing such an innovative idea. And now, up next, let's invite our second Hackathon team, US3R Network, on stage to present their project. Welcome.
All right. Yeah, so we got to stick with this one. Hi everyone, I'm Liang. So previously I was a CS master at Georgia Tech, and I also did engineering at Binance and Bitmain. So currently I'm founder of User Network. So User Network is a user on-ramp and social mini dApps development platform. And we offer dApps development and distribution for via Web3 social identity and on-chain discovery. So, yeah. So this is a stats of developer activity showcased during East Denver this year. So despite the general uptrend since 2016, so currently there's only about 20,000 active Web3 developers. And if we're talking about full-time developers, the number is probably lower than that. And in contrast, there are about 20 million general Web2 developers. So why is that the case? And after talking to hundreds of developers and general Web3 dApp user family and friends, there is a vicious cycle going on. So because it's really hard to build a dApps or Web3 apps in general, so it's hard to like gain traction of like Web3 users. And I think there's one stat about the current active Web3 users. It's about like 500,000 users. And also because it's hard to generate, to find enough interesting applications, it's also hard to expand that numbers, right? And also, as a result, because the addressable user base is so small, so it's also hard to attract more developers to come in. So that's where the vicious cycle. And if we look at Web 2, right? So all major platforms, they are able to establish network effect by address a specific use case and using that as a major development distribution channel for applications. For example, for WeChat, we have WeChat mini program. And for like, needless to say about hardware device like Android and iOS, for developers, it's really appealing to build applications and leverage the massive distribution platforms. However, despite the fact that maybe a wallet address could be one of the best uniformed user identity platform or system, really controlled by users, like any Ethereum wouldn't be able to rock any of the users by banning their account, right? However, when it actually comes to dApps development and distribution, it's really, really difficult. Wallets are hard to use. It's hard to discover dApps, like numerous KOL, like Shield, vaporware, ragging lots of users. And for actual quality dApps, they also need to like spend a lot of time using traditional channels like Twitter, Discord, to educate users about the applications. So can we do better? And this is User Network's vision. So we want to create so-called a platform-less platform that create a better user experience for dApps developers and dApps users without controlling their identity, their data. And so for developers, again, this is a side-by-side comparison between Web 2 and Web 3. So in Web 2, when it comes to storage, you have mature consumer applications like Dropbox, right? But for Web 3, when it comes to storage, it's really hard to use any of the storage solutions like Arweave, IPFS, or Filecoin. And when it comes to developers, it's slightly better, but not by much, right? So there's really end-to-end development platform for Web 2 developers to build their application in the time of a day, right? So I think Ruby on platforms like Ruby on Rails unlocked that possibility 15 years ago. You can literally build a blog in 5 minutes, right? But that's not happening for Web 3 applications. And this is where user network again comes in. We want to build the developer tooling layer to improve the developer experience so that it's easier to create dApps. And for end users, we also want to make it easier to access quality dApps without worrying about getting rugged. And in terms of user experience, we also want to aggregate as much quality Web3 experience as possible. For example, protocols like social protocols, wallet experience, and dApps Explorer. Currently, it's still scattered around different fragmented applications. So for social protocols, in fact, it's more fragmented than their Web 2 counterpart. So we want to provide the bridging layer and user onboarding layer for Web 3 consumers in general. And that will act as a user onboarding platform for all the developers. So currently we already have our user onboarding platform, U3, and developer platform, S3, live as a closed alpha. And I think in the past few months we won almost a dozen hackathons from HashKey, East Denver, Be.Water, and hackathons organized by OKX and Foresight Venture. So I think in the end, it really comes down to building apps. End users don't care about if it's Web 2 apps or Web 3 apps, other than maybe speculators. And I think in the end, we just want to create a better user experience as well as developer experience. And so lastly, a little bit about our team. I'm Liang. I've been building decentralized as well as centralized applications in crypto since 2017. And my co-founder at Word was my alumnus from NUS. So previously, he's more involved in Web3 incubation, for example, for projects like Zilliqa. And so we're reading a C round. If you're interested about general Web3 onboarding and developer experience, we can chat.
Any questions to the program? Okay. Thank you, Team US3R Network, for showcasing such innovative ideas. And up next, we invite a third Hackathon Team Web3 event on stage to present their project. Yeah.
Thank you. Manage my computer? It will be better. Yeah, Web3 event, Tom's. Right now you can try to use a Web3 event.org to find all the events in Singapore right now this time. The setting, yeah. One question, like any guys know how many events in total 2049 this time? How many events total?
More than 100.
Uh-huh.
More than 100.
More than 100. Next, more. Keep more. Sorry? 400. Yeah, right. More than 400. This time, yeah. Actually, this time I think just maybe from yesterday to 17 around, yeah. We have the data, like we already collected 439 events during this 2059. Yeah, 400 events in Singapore this time. So many events organized not only in Singapore. Actually, this time we also have like events in Permissionless. I'm not sure you guys know. Like Permissionless in Austin, it's like the biggest like DeFi summit in US, and it also have like more than 50 events. At the same time, this month we have around I think over 1,000 events happening in the global. A lot of cities, not only in Singapore. Due to Web3 is not like just a country industry. It's a global themes. Yeah. Sorry. Okay, got it. I try to tell you more about this. Yeah. Okay. Got it. And actually, I in crypto for like 5 or 6 years already. I joined a lot of events in different cities, different conferences, more than 1,000 offline events, 20 or 30 more blockchain week. So for everybody, actually, it's very hard to find events like during this time. Somebody maybe like someone maybe investor, they want to find new projects. Some maybe like a new product like us, we want like looking for investor. Or like some developer guys, they want to join Hexen. Right now, I think don't have a platform gather all this information together, easy for everybody to find events. So what we do, I just want everybody easy to find Web3 events in my platform. Okay, yeah, just use it, cool. Yeah, this one, right, cool. Thank you. Okay, got it. Sorry, back to first one. Yeah, this Web3 event, this platform for Web3 mass adoption. I'm Doms, and this is my link QR code. Yeah, next page. So right now, even crypto market may a little down. We also believe Web3 is the future, so we keep building. Yeah, every guy's here. We keep building. And right now, I will talk about mass adoption. The choice, I think, is social gaming for this topic. We make what we want to make Web3 everybody to use it. Social and gaming is very important in the two part. And in gaming, I'm not familiar with it. I don't talk. And then in social, right now, social have two choices. Like right now, Web2 to Web3, like Twitter, X, Telegram, Reddit. They are good, but not good enough. They are not native Web3 products. The logic is different. And for Web3 part, like infra, we have some protocol like LAMS, Fast, and CyberConnect. And in application, we have like a lot of Quest tax tools, like a lot of X2N and like read and sleep or work to earn. Yeah, this product. In infra, I think right now it's not ready. It's not good enough to use. And for application, yeah, we don't know the real data. So if we don't know the real data, what we build, what you invest, yeah. I mean like for this, a lot of Web3 social application. Many boots, many robots, no one can tell at this stage. And will Web2 users use this product like a Quest, like something to earn? I'm not sure. This is data like from some famous projects. Yeah, I just like 1 million, 10 million, and 1 million like Quest. This is data of our product. Right now we have like I think 2,000 more events in our website and covered 150 cities. And right now in Token 2049, this week we have 400 more events. And last week I'm in Seoul, like for Korean Blockchain Week. Actually, we have 200 events last week. Yeah, I was there. So these guys generally like we pay nothing and want to earn $100. But for these guys offline, yeah, these events will cost a lot of money. Everybody from different countries fly to here. So maybe we pay 5,000 for this trip and want to buy or invest many money in Web3 projects. So all these guys is very variable. Yeah. So that's why I saw. And for real mass adoption, yeah, it must be useful and funny, save time and improve efficiency. And the second, I think, is even without any rewards, people want to use it. And third, like Web2 people, it's very important. They want to use it. So it will be real mass adoption. So what is it? Luma. Yeah, I think many guys like Lista, you will Luma to register events. Actually, like Lista, we have data 400 more events, more than 200 events. They use Luma to do the register, to follow events. So, but like you can go to Twitter, have a look. Luma, their Twitter account only 5,000 like followers around. Yeah, so this time. So actually, Luma before it have a lot of Web3 function. They have like an NFT gallery, they have like a payment, but no one uses it. It's different right now. Luma, I think, they may focus on fintech and not focus on Web3. So where are you guys today? Where are you guys today? I think everybody here wait for what? For events. This is events. So what we need, this is our industry very like different with others. Web3 is an emergency industry with frequent social needs. This is our very different with other industry. Like generally, offline events will have best way to know each other. So dozens of offline events held around the world every day, yeah. So this month, I have some data, more than 1,000 events in the global. So here comes the problem, how to find valuable events from thousands of events every month in hundreds of cities. Yeah, that's the question. Got it. So that's about me. I'm Doms and I'm working in crypto since 2017. A lot of events I've joined and cities. So I know events very well. Yeah, something like this, some photos about it. And this is like yeah, some friends. Like you can find Vitalik near RSK or some guys. We meet a lot of conference, a lot of city. Yeah. So I know events, I enjoy events, I meet a lot of guys. I have these resources to build this product. Yeah. So our product right now, at this stage we have Web3 event aggregator function. This stage, a kind of filters, topic, category, date, price, like something, and a full kind of display. We can find it like post and like list, and the list is map. Map will useful, easy for you to find events like near you. And yeah, actually you can scan this code to find events in Tunnel 59. Okay. Our function schedule, right now our aggregator is launched and we have map function. This stage we will have ticketing system and EID and ETH tickets protocol. This protocol actually we have demo right now, but I'm not sure we have time to present it. Okay. Some partners, last time I met Sandbox co-founder. Actually, we will also integrate all the Metaverse events. Right now, Sandbox, a lot of events organizing Metaverse. Metaverse, I think in future, more and more events will in Metaverse. So our product, not only offline, not only online, we also have on-chain events. We will have Metaverse events. All these events, all these Web3 related events in this platform, everybody will easy to find it, yeah. And like some Elio, Stanek, their team member, they also connect me to post their events. And we're supported by Panda. I'm not sure you guys know, it's a small team, yeah. And the small point is like our partner, they organize events in like Asia. They are the team to help you guys to organize events. So like say something like this. Okay, that's all. Yeah. This is the website. I think this is group and this is my link. Yeah. Wait, do I have more time? I'm not sure. If we have time, we can maybe show you a demo. Yeah. Okay, but I think maybe use my computer. Sorry. Or can I use this? But it don't have wallet function. Yeah. Got it. No problem. Yeah. Actually, I just a little talk about like we have like an ETH ticks function. Like this. ETH ticks protocol, we want to build like events on-chain, like when you create events, register events, some events or whatever, and checking all these things on-chain. So this is a very Web3 things. And we also joined like this type, Ethereum Singapore Hackathon. We want to like present our protocol at that time. Yeah. So that's all. Thank you. Yeah.
Is there any questions from the judges?
So you're raising money or you're?
Right now, I think maybe after 2049 we'll think about it. Right now we have like some guys support me in the technical part. Yeah. Actually, I want to show my data. Yeah. Like traffic. We launched like a Web3 festival in Hong Kong much Apple a month. And right now, actually, we have like more than 10K, more than 10K users have used our website to find events. Mostly is like Asia, and the second is US. Due to we also collect events like Stanford Blockchain Week, like last month, and this time is permissionless, and the next is mainnet. And in my opinion, at the end of this month, we will launch the account system. We want everybody can get accounts. If you project, like you can have an account, you can list all your related events here. People can follow you. Follow this project, follow this speaker. Like Vitalik, you have Vitalik choice. You can follow Vitalik every time Vitalik will join new events. We will notice you. You may follow them. And this is this month. Next month we may have like a ticketing function like Luma. First, we are Web 2.5 product. We want everybody easy to use, not only Web 3. Yeah. And November we prepare to go to Istanbul due to Binance Blockchain Week, and DevConnect will organize here. So many side events at a time. We think maybe some events may use our product to like register events. Yeah. Got it. So right now, whatever you can find events for how many? For 400 more events in my website, more than official like Google Doc, more easy to use.
Why do you want to build an aggregator on-chain?
No, not on-chain. All this like aggregator. The aggregator is like centralized. It's not on-chain. Yeah.
With 2.5 style.
2.5. Like we will have some function on chain. Due to first we are aggregator. This aggregator is easy for everybody to find events. Everybody. Web 2, Web 3 guys. And like next, due to we need to make money. We need to tell every guy's story like how we make money. So we need ticketing system. Due to right now all the events we jump out. We jump to Luma, jump to Eventbrite, jump to Partyful. It's not good enough. We need our own ticketing, and then we will have users' data. Yeah, I tell our final story. When we have the data, like some guy in our product have like first is centralized data, and at the same time we will have your like wallet, it's on-chain data. Centralized data we can find. You search the city, you search the events you like DeFi or whatever investor. So we can find the customer the target customer is very easy. Like you find some guy developer or something. We use this on-chain and offline our centralized data. Easy for you guys to find your customers. So it's like a target marketing or something. Yeah, this is the final story. Yeah, got it.
I noticed that you mentioned the ticket system.
Yeah.
It has been integrated to the Luma?
No. Actually, first we will have our own ticketing platform. Actually, at the same time, due to like this time, if you use Singapore, they have used MoonGate. Right now, a lot of NFT ticketing system in the world. In my opinion, Web3 event, this platform, we want to integrate a lot of like a ticketing system. If you like a good to use, everybody want to use it, we want to integrate that. Like just a choice, when we want to post events, you can choose. You may choose a MoonGate, you may choose whatever, Luma, you may choose our own like ticketing system. Yeah, everything is okay. We open to all the like ticketing solution if they can integrate with us, like provide API or something. Yeah. So first is an aggregator, easy for everybody to find the events. And next stage, step by step. Yeah. Got it. Okay, thank you.
Thank you for Team Web3 event for showcase. And please, every judge here, scoring for all the teams here, because the host cannot receive the result. The scoring link have already sent to your group chat. Please check.
Yeah, so we have sent to your
Yeah, we already submitted.
Yeah. So after the presentation of each team, judges will need to submit the score within like 5 minutes. Then we can tell you the result.
Next, let's invite our next hackathon team, Gabble World, on stage to present their project. Welcome.
Thanks for having me. So Gabby World is a fully AI-generated autonomous world of adventures. If you haven't come across autonomous world word, it basically means fully on-chain game, right? So it all actually it's supposed to be animation. Would I be able to use my own laptop or?
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
Where's your laptop?
Just bring it over. I can still use this. No, I gotta be nice on so good. Let me go with so good. Should be working now. Can I have the mic? Right, so it all started with a thought experiment, okay, about us in our world. What if we live in a simulated world? Let me go over. Right, we'll either be in this world voluntarily or involuntarily. If the former, it will most likely mean that we're uploaded consciousness, but without memory of our decision to be in this world. Right, if the latter, it will probably mean that we're AI characters. But either way, they're most likely a player who plays us behind. Right, and the fact that we chose to be in this world voluntarily will most likely mean that the world is fair or not subject to any manipulation, right? And this manipulation or control is not by the creators nor by the players. So there has to be, a third party, an absolutely fair third party governing the world, so the world will be self-governing, right? So these are the three hypotheses that we've made, right? And of course, there's also a possibility that we are just NPCs, but then that'll just make us too insignificant to be further discussed. Right, so if we were to replicate a world as a proxy for the previous three hypotheses, then there will be three design principles. Number one, the world, we need to use Carl Jung's model, okay, model of psych, to explain character and player relationship. So the characters will have their own free will that will make them consciousness, and the players will guide the characters as subconsciousness, and then all the players together, we can call it the DAO, they are the collective subconsciousness. And then secondly, we want the world to be autonomous going concern, so then blockchain will be essential here, right? So all the logics will have to run on chain and they will be added to the system or the world permissionlessly. And lastly, we want it to be self-governing, right? It's not controlled by the creators, nor by the players again, right? So we have to leave it to an absolutely fair third party, which can only be AI for the time being. Right. Then that's how we need to delegate the whole world engine to large language model, for example, and then all the logics can be composable through prompts. So that's how we arrived at our product, Gabby World. It's basically an autonomous world, an AI-generated autonomous world, fully built on or through on-chain prompts. Okay, we have three key elements in this product, right? On-chain characters, on-chain scenarios, and on-chain stories. And both characters and scenarios, they are built through user prompts. And all the three interact with each other on-chain through large language models and through system prompts. And it looks like this from an architecture point of view. So all the logics are written in prompts and all the prompts are on-chain. For example, if you want to add a modification to our world, all you need to do is just write prompts in natural languages and they'll do it. And they only go off-chain when they have to be processed by large language models and then to create a result back on-chain. And we're also building a vector, or partially decentralized vector database to store AI characters' memories. So that will be a proxy for their on-chain consciousness. And also, any generative AI models like image generation or animation generation will be added into this world as plugins, as long as they are open source, then decentrally hosted. And one more point about the large language model, even though it's not on chain, the fact that they're open source and decentrally hosted can make them decentralized in a way. For our user experience, it's it's very simple. Basically, just turn your ideas into prompts, and then in natural language, and then just game on your imagination. Let's take a look at the demo. 1 second. It's not playing loud, I guess. Excuse me, can me. can we play the demo voice out? Or?
Bluetooth pairing.
Can I actually just show you? What if I place my mic over here? Read that. Oh yeah, so sorry about this.
Bluetooth connected.
Should be good now. Should be good now. Sorry. It's important to understand the core loop. Our world only has one resource, prompt. You can generate an AI character, Gabby, as an explorer, or define the land as a landlord, or generate a challenging experience on the land as a creator. The core gameplay is for explorers to overcome challenges and experiences and collect them as trophies. And whether you can win depends on how you write your prompt. The more popular a land is, the more prompts will be welcome to the demo of Gabby World. Before we start demonstrating, it's important to understand the core loop. Our world only has one resource, prompts. You can use to overcome challenges and experiences and collect them as trophies. And whether you can win depends on how you write your prompt. The more popular a land is, the more prompts will be rewarded to the landlord and those creators and explorers who contribute to the land's prosperity. First part of the demo is entry-level gameplay, where users can create an AI-generated character, Gabby, with prompts, and then send it out to explore the world. Gabby is a fully AI-generated character, and you can turn it into any character you want through adding prompts to describe it. Anything from a personality trait, an interest, a special ability, or an equipment. So let's be creative here. Moves fast, like the Flash, wearing an Iron Man suit. Each time you add a prompt, the AI-generated description of your Gabby will refresh. But others can't see your prompt, so they'd have to guess from the description what your prompts are, and that's the fun part of it. Next, let's send our Gabby out to explore the world. Now, we could either pick a place on the map to explore, or just explore randomly. Typically, it'll take Gabby a few hours to be back. We designed it this way as a leisure game, so users can just chill and come back in a few hours to check the result whenever you're free. For demo purposes, we'll skip the wait. Okay, now I've seen a fully AI-generated story and graphic of my Gabby's adventure. He's apparently been to this medieval tavern, consumed 99 liters of vodka, and got drunk, failing the challenge. Now here comes the most fun part of the game. You can't see the prompts of the experience, so we'll have to guess from the story what the scenario is about and what the challenge is. So we can come up with a strategy to tackle it. And now we can guess the challenge is just to drink 99 liters of vodka, and I can just go back and add a prompt to my Gabby, carrying hangover pills. And if we go explore again, yes, now it's successful. Skillfully consumes the 99-liter vodka and remains sober, thanks to his hangover pills. Awesome. Gabby is an ERC 6551, and all the successful explorations will be added to his moments as trophies. So you can tell, this is really gaming on the imagination and asymmetric information between explorers and creators. As an explorer, all you need to do is to decipher the challenge and add prompts to overcome it. Second part of the demo is advanced gameplay, where users can create an AI-generated experience for others to explore. First, if you're a landlord, you'll be able to define the theme of your land. For example, we dedicate this land to the loot communities and create it as mysterious snow mountains. And for the graphics, let's make it Dragon and Dungeon style, which is fantasy RPG. Now we have the AI-generated description and graphic of the land. And as a landlord, you can set many rules which we won't cover today. Now let's create an experience on this land. For example, we want to create a dragon with its eggs inside its nest on the cliff. Next, we can create a fun challenge. For example, steal an egg secretly. Now AI has generated an adventure ready to be explored. And again, the description is written in a very disguised way, so it's not easy for explorers to guess the prompt, and only the creator can see the prompt. And this experience is now appearing on the land. All right, let's now send our own Gabby to give it a try. I'm pretty sure he'll make it because he's moving fast like the Flash, and it'll be easy for him to snatch the dragon egg without being found out. Oops, didn't go as expected. Let's see what happened. Okay, the hang of the peels inadvertently spilled and caught the dragon's attention. That's why my Gabby failed. So this is also a very fun part of the game. Other than the prompts, there are also a lot of random factors that might affect the probability of success. You never know what surprising events might take place in your adventure, so never be too confident. Cool. Hope you got, our demo. And it's not full screen though. Anyways, so going forward, a few points on our roadmap. First, we're fine-tuning our image generation model to allow for gears and equipment generation. So users can simply insert prompts to generate any weapons or gears. And imagine if you have a loot NFT, okay? All the 8 items on your loot NFT will be easily generated into gears or any weapons or skills. That's our aim, to be the first first game in the Lootverse that's interoperable with Loot NFTs. Secondly, as mentioned earlier, we're building this decentralized vector database so that AI characters can gradually become AI on-chain consciousness. And lastly, we are working on social features, so all your AI characters can encounter each other, make friends in their adventures, and they can even team up to overcome challenges together. And lastly, about the team, I'm the co-founder and CEO with a serial entrepreneurial background, having previously co-founded projects in GameFi, Internet of Things, and software services. And I started off my early career as a technology investment banker. Our CTO has 9 years experience in deep learning across both natural language processing and computer vision in both Google and Tesla. And lastly, our COO has extensive experience in Web3, having previously held roles in IOSG, Mina, and LatentTree. Thank you. Any questions?
So again, are you fundraising or?
Yeah. We are.
So,
Set a chat.
yeah. So, how much are you going to raise? What is
So our beta is actually launching in about 2 weeks' time, very soon, and we hope to raise after that.
Okay.
Yeah. Feel free to let me send you an invitation to the beta. Cool.
Game is fun.
Thank you. Any other questions? Cool. Thank you.
Thank you for your wonderful sharing. Now, let's invite our next hackathon team, SourceDAO, on stage to present their project. SourceDAO, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. As my English is very poor, but my Chinese is pretty good. So 下面的演讲呢，我将通过中文来完成。大家好，我是 SourceDAO 的 co-founder William。然后我们 SourceDAO 现在是在做一个工作任务对接的刀兔。那 SourceDAO 我们发起的初衷呢，是一群有着社会达尔文思想的一群互联网员工。我们认为适者生存，然后能者多劳。那有效的多劳的话，它就应该多得。 那我们来看现在的互联网行业的一个工作关系，其实还是以这种企业去买断员工的时间这样的一个构成。那其实这种关系，会很大程度上造成一个员工或者企业的资源上的浪费。就比如说，可能我们每个人都做过的上班摸鱼，或者我们常说的，写代码的不如写 PPT 的。那对于一些优秀的初创团队来说，也许他们没有足够的资源去雇佣一个他们所需要的尖端的人才。那像这样的情况呢，其实在 Web3 这样的一个更加倡导去中心化、分布式，然后更加高效透明的环境来说，我们认为它应该是可以被改变的。所以我们现在倡导的是，去通过一个工作任务制来完成企业所需要的这些工作的要求。那这个也是我们为何而生，就是基于 DID 和 SBT 去为 Web3 打造一个工作任务制对接的一个劳动服务关系。然后对于企业方来说，如何评价这些工作对接的劳动者呢？所以我们也建立了一个具有公信力的能力评价体系，就是一个 Web3 知识能力的一个考试系统。那我们的目标用户呢，其实包括了从业人员和项目方。对于从业人员和一些数字游民来说，这个行业里边很多人还是比较青睐这种相对自由的远程或者是兼职的工作方式。那也有更多的人为了能得到更多的收入，或者说能够更加丰富自己的生活，所以他们比较需要这种相对高效的以任务为单位的工作机会。这样的话，比如说我这个月很缺钱，那我可以同时承接我能力范围内的多个任务。那如果说我下个月就想出去玩耍，我可以今天在新加坡，然后明天在新西兰，后天回到了新疆，在不同的地方去完成我的工作，然后去调配我的生活。同时呢，其实我们也和很多在互联网行业里面资深的一些从业者、一些研发工程师、一些产品经理聊过。其实，在互联网公司工作的时候，很多人还是觉得自己的劳动成果没有得到足够的一个尊重。OK， 那这边可以吗？再过那点我就看不到 PPT 了。
这里有啊。
好了。没有得到一个足够的尊重。那对于一些 Web3 的项目方来说，肯定所有的项目方都会希望得到一个性价比更高的劳动力。那包括一些比较优秀的初创的公司，就像我刚才提到的，它可能在最初的前期需要一些比较尖端的核心技术人才，但是以他们现有的资源可能不足以支撑去长期的维系这样的一个人才。那以工作任务的形式去把他的这份工作这个工作内容去外包出去。大家以一个相对合理的价格解决他短期需要的问题，这个也是初创的这些团队他们所需要的一个东西。另外呢，就是在找这个人的时候，他究竟如何判断他所找到的是不是所需要的人才？那我们现在传统的方式呢，就是通过比如说 HR 猎头或者说朋友介绍来找到对应的人。那如果说有一个相对客观的能力评价体系，可以通过考试。一个研发和一个产品经理，一个前端，他的能力分成初级、中级和高级，然后让他去完成对应的任务的话，对于这些招人的项目方来说，也会有一个相对来说更直接、更有效的一个体验。所以为了解决这两方的需求呢，我们现在在做的就是一个赏金任务面板和一个能力认证的考试系统。那我们的业务模式呢，会以道为基础来维系我们的劳动者的一个社群，然后通过大家共同出题的方式去丰富我们这考试系统的题库，然后也会保证它的一个相对的客观性，因为这里边没有一个中心化的出题组织去维系。然后呢，劳动者通过考试的话，就可以在他们的 SBT 上去记录他的相关的能力。同时，在他的这个 SBT 上也可以记录他所完成的这些工作任务的一个情况。那么项目方的话，他们可以入驻发布自己的工作任务，然后这些工作任务我们会依据它的这个发布模板去评定出它的一个难度和需要耗费的劳动力，这样来评定这个任务它对应的金额。那在任务发布之后，就有对应能力等级的劳动者去完成它相关的任务，然后取得一个收入。 那在 SouthStyle 里边的角色呢，一共是3个，一个是劳动者，就是独立的个人，他们可以参与专业认证考试，然后取得对应的能力等级，同时也可以去标记他过往工作任务的一个情况。那对于项目方来说，他们首先可以发布任务，然后在发布的时候会做一些代币质押，去确保他有足够的能力去支付他工作任务的酬劳。然后他也可以做一个完成度的评价，或者他也可以去招收一些长期的人才。那我们 SouthStyle 做的是呢，首先去做一个工作者的工会，去帮助大家去调节和维系他所有的工作内容。另外就是对于对于发布的任务去做一个评审，看看它是不是符合我们的这些标准，然后他的薪资酬劳是否合理。那第三呢，对于劳动者完成的工作，我们要去做一个审计的工作。就比如说人家要个西瓜，然后你给了个桃，这肯定是不合适的。那最后呢，就是做一个代币供需的管理。然后关于我们的里程碑，目前我们的第一个里程碑呢是完成我们考试系统的整个的产品的完整。那这个现在是已经实现了。然后我们的考试系统目前是上在 Polygon， 因为费用相对会比较低，对于每一个考试者来说，他们的 gas 费是可以承担的。然后在下面的目标就是进一步增加我们的 SBT 持有者和贡献者。然后后边呢，在下一步我们的开发任务是去建立我们的赏金面板。以及从原本的一些独立的工作者开始去营造一些工作团队，比如说一个完整的一个开发团队这样的一个赏金小组，同时也会进一步增加我们的社群人数。那在第3步的时候，我们会进一步增加 SBT 能承载的东西，同时也会启用一个项目的 space。那一些比较好的项目，他们可能不光是需要找人，也是需要有一个宣传作用。所以他们可以建立自己的 space 去做品牌宣传，同时也可以去打造他们企业所需要的专属的题库，然后通过这些题库的考试去找到更精准的人才。OK， 然后第4步的话就是进一步的一个社群的增长，同时我们的DAO会进行一个完全的去中心化的治理。然后在经济模型方面，现在我们是还在一个调整的阶段吧，就是在我们的平台和工会都会有对应的一个经济模型的体系，然后包括发放和消耗，这个因为内容比较多，在这里边我们就先不做过多的赘述了。然后这是我们一个代币分配的情况。然后下边是关于刚才提到的这些我们想法的一个具体产品规划。那我们现在已经完成了我们的匿名的一个技能认证考试，然后包括我们技能认证标签的这个 SBT 的建立。然后赏金面板的话，现在是正在开发中，预计还需要3到4个月的时间能够完成。然后在后边呢会是我们的企业 space， 包括到雇员的一个金融服务。因为我们其实想服务的更多的是一些个人的工作者，包括一些数字游民。那对于他们来说，他们所取得的资产的一个增值，包括他们的一些比如说社会保障啊、保险这些的东西，我们都会放到我们的DAO的雇员金融服务里边。然后这个是刚才讲过的整个的用户路径，用户的贡献呢是可以去自主的添加考试的试题，包括知识点，然后用户通过考试证明的 SBT， 再去参与测试，来得到它对应的能力等级。当然，这个能力等级呢，因为我们整个 Web3 行业的内容更新还是比较快的，所以不同的行业的话，它可能每3个月或者半年、1年的时间还要进行一个 renew。然后在他拿到他的能力证明认证的证书之后，就可以在悬赏栏我们的赏金面板里边去领取对应的任务了。整个它的这个通途呢，就是前边先获取 SBT， 然后报名参与考试， 然后呢，我们的考试会分成2个阶段。第一个阶段其实和我们 Modal 做的事情比较像，因为很多刚刚进入 Web3 行业的从业者，他们其实对于整个 Web3 的各种概念啊、理念是没有一个比较多的理解的，所以我们初期会有一个通识考试。这个通识考试呢，是希望通过考试内容的学习，能让每一个进来的人，他们能够听得懂我们聊的东西，然后能够讲得出来他想表达的意思。然后再下一步就是各个工会所负责的一个行业的认证了，就比如说我们的研发工会、我们的产品工会、我们的UI 工会，甚至包括商务市场不同的角色都会有不同的工会，还有交易工会等等。然后拿到了对应工会的职业认证之后，就可以去接取我们的赏金任务。那我们的这个能力认证体系的目标的话，就是通过不同级别的考试内容去评判你所在行业的一个水平等级。然后呢，它的考试范围就是刚才提到的，一是有通识，二是有这个工会专业技能，然后第三就是刚才提到的每个工会行业的话会有你能力的 renew。那机制的话，其实我们就是会给每一个能力等级分成，比如说1到9个阶段，大概以这样的形式去评定你能接的任务的高低难度。然后对于我们到成员的一个出题人，这些题目的贡献者，我们也是会有一个奖励的。出题人在最初的题目的话，我们会邀请一些行业的专家，包括我们道组织初期的成员一起来完善。到后边的话，每个出题人他出具自己的题目之后，如果他的题目被纳入到我们的题库之中了，那在后续他的其他人的考试之中，如果他的题目被抽取到，我们也会有一个相对应的一个代币的奖励。那包括每一个题目也会有一个对应的审计人，这个审计人可能是行业的工会，也有可能是一些个人。那他们的话会去评价这道题目首先是不是正确的，然后它是不是现在最新的知识，并且它是不是有跟题库的重复。那审计人如果他审计的题目被考试抽到时，也会得到一个对应的奖励。然后关于我们的融资计划的话，前期是希望能够得到100万美金的融资，释放10%的代币。其实我们现在通过跟一些 VC 的交流之后，我们发现可能道的形式的话，也许捐赠也是一个比较好的主意。所以如果有对我们的这个想法比较认同的朋友，那也欢迎去给我们打钱，我们公开乞讨。然后融资的用途呢，就是一是投入于进一步的产研，另外就是市场活动和宣传。那剩余的款项的话，就是公司的一个人员运营以及后续的一个代币的价格稳定管理。OK， 这也是我们的一个主创团队我是第一个 co-founder William，我是之前一直在国内的一家互联网券商，然后做了有10年的时间，一直在同一家公司。然后呢，从最初的商务到后边的一些项目管理和运营管理的工作。然后我们另外2个我们的 leader founder 呢，他是也是一直在金融类的互联网公司，包括一些区块链相关的，比如说一些 DeFi，也是有主导搭建SEX 或者 DEX 交易所，甚至券商交易所的一些经验。然后我们另外一个研发的co-founder 他是百度的早期的一个创始员工，那整个的开发能力也是相对比较高的。OK 呢，以上就是我的内容了，各位有什么问题吗？好，感谢各位。
Thank you for wonderful sharing. And now it's our online team, codename GPT AI Smart Math Teacher. Well. Well, let's welcome our first online team.
Soft GPT. Soft GPT. Yeah, okay. So maybe you can start with your presentation. Okay. You can share. You can start now.
Yeah, I start. My project is SoftGPT AI Smart Math Feature. I'm Hong Shenzhang from Zhejiang University.
Bluetooth pairing.
There are a lot of existing math study tools, just like CHGG or Skills, but they may ask us to pay monthly plan for one problem. It is very difficult to use. Another problem is that for professors, they use several hours to make their lecture notes, but they cannot guarantee the right of their lecture notes. Thus, developed the AI Smart Math Teachers, which contains the adversary learning for several large models and results. Second, we have personalized input to get better results. Third, we have accuracy analysis to test the accuracy of the solution. Finally, we have knowledge explanation that contains definitions, theorems, and answers in LaTeX form. A student, even without any knowledge base, can understand the whole process. Our AI Smart Math Feature contains AI, blockchain, and NFT. Here is the basic. As we can see, first, we upload the picture of the problem, and it looks like a photo of the picture. And we click one button to pay based on new people and click the picture and the postcard. And we also need to pay for the soft part. All of these parts are very cheap. First thing of view, we can see that click the solve, we can see the whole lecture notes that contains what is the problem, what is the theorem, and what is the outcome. Besides, we can
Bluetooth connected.
solution and click button. We also need to pay for paper time, and I pay. We can see that the whole lecture notes for the similar problem in English. That it contains what is chicken, what is rabbit, and what is head, and the chicken-rabbit theorem, finally the problem and the answer. It can be also benefit for teacher and student. Our product feature, the first of our product feature is it ensures the value transfer of knowledge. At the first time for students to search for the problem, our AI Smart Math Teachers use large models to solve it, and the student need to pay for the API keys. After the second time, we store the first knowledge at the permanent storage, and after the first time anyone asks for the same problem, we can directly output the solution, and the subsequent student only need to pay for the owner and the guess. It ensures the originality and value transfer of knowledge. The second product feature is that we enhance the accuracy of the solutions. In real world, if we want to enhance the accuracy, we need several students to solve for one problem together. If their results are the same, it indicates that it is correct. Similar things can be done in code world. We can run several large models together, and if their results are the same, it indicates that it has high accuracy. If they are different, the accuracy is low. Third, our AI Smart Math Teacher is a personal math teachers with lecture notes. Some problem is that even if we have the answer sheet, we have the solution, we cannot understand it. But the AI Smart Math Teacher is the math teacher that it will give you lecture notes with definitions, theorems, and answers. Students not only need to the answer sheet, but they need teachers, and AI Smart Math teacher can teach them. Our AI Smart Math teacher has personalized inputs that it have different choice and photo input. It have adversary learning that use several models to solve together for the problem. Third, we have accuracy alliances. We evaluate the accuracy of solution. If the accuracy is low, we may not choose it. Fourth, we have knowledge explanation that automatically generation of lecture notes. The advantage of deploying blockchain is that it has incentive model that it can receive awards from subsequent users, and it reduces redundant effort, it reduces repeated computations. Third, we ensure the originality for every new math problem solutions. Its distinct identity on blockchain can be ensured, and we can earn from it. We have multiple platforms, just like website and Android phone. The technical implementation is that the personal inputs that we can take photos or based on the knowledge level, and we have adversary learning that we have several models to solve together for the problem. We have accuracy alliances that we can evaluate the accuracy. Finally, we have knowledge originality that it can ensure the originality and value transfer. AI Smart Math teacher is efficient, accurate, and original. First, for personalized input, we can choose the input mode. We can use text to input or image to input. Second, we can choose the language of output. We can output in English or in Chinese or other version. Third, we can teach students based on their student study levels. We can teach students from elementary to college. Second, AI Smart Math teacher is accurate. We use adversary learning to get better results. We use model fusion for several large models to solve for one problem together to get high accuracy and widely usage and more practical. We use all these models synchronized to solve the problem. If the results are different, we would split the process and calculate the accuracy of each step to get higher overall accuracy. We choose the result that appears more often to get better results. We test our SoftGPT on the college examinations of Chinese in mathematics. We found that our SoftGPT performs better than any other GPT-4 with plugins. We have knowledge originality that we store the math knowledge on the knowledge database, and we signature based on the blockchain. For the first time, students generate the knowledge. He will sign for it, and the subsequent user will pay for the first generator. The advantage of our AI Smart Math teachers compared with traditional tools just like 小猿搜题 or 作业帮 is that traditional tools cannot solve problems that's not in their database. They will give us unrelated results. Compared with existing large language models just like ChatGPT or Cloud, we found that, especially in math learning, GPT would confidently to give us wrong answers, but we cannot distinguish them. Just like the correct answer is 0.75, but GPT-4 and GPT-3.5 all gives us wrong answers confidently. The third advantage is that we can generate targeted lecture notes for specific problem. We generate all these things in LaTeX to get better math formula, and it is just like the lecture notes of professors through definitions, theorems, and problem and answers. It is a professional math teacher. The fourth advantage is that we are based on NFT and blockchain. We use NEO to pay, and we save on Arweave to ensure the originality and the value transfer, and on the permanent blockchain. Our business model is to customers, and each cost of solve is less than $0.1. We pay on pay-per-view and pay for the originality. Why we choose SoftGPT? Because it is easy usage. because we can click one button to generate the whole lecture notes, and we can own the PDF solution and ensure the generality for the first generator. Third, it is personalized and educative. We can learn from it, and based on the study levels, finally, we can cope with any problems. Thanks for listening. SoftGPT is a personalized input and adversary learning, accurate analysis, and knowledge explanation. It is efficient, accurate, and originality. The SoftGPT can click one button to generate notes. It is efficient. It uses Model Fusion to achieve better results. It is accurate. And we can use blockchain to ensure the originality and the value transfer. That's all for my speech. Thank you. If there is any questions, can ask me.
Well, thank you Phil for sharing. And now let's welcome the final team called T-Bridge. Let's welcome T-Bridge.
Yes. Yeah.
Start your presentation.
Okay. Hello everyone, nice to meet you all. Today I will introduce to you a scalable decentralized cross-chain asset bridge project, T-Bridge. As we all know, cross-chain allows DeFi to access assets originally hosted on different chains, which increases the diversity and utility of the DeFi. And cross-chain capabilities make it easier for users to participate in DeFi hosted on different chains, thereby expanding DeFi's potential user base and increasing liquidity. Therefore, with the rapid growth of the DeFi market, the demand for cross-chain is becoming stronger and stronger. Cross-chain capabilities are divided into two categories, centralized and decentralized. In the centralized solution, security is not guaranteed, and with the development of technology, the centralized solution has been limited by the market. In the decentralized cross-chain solution, the security is enhanced, but the scalability is still not ideal. We use this table to compare the security and the scalability of several common decentralized cross-chain bridge projects. The security of multiple signature approval and optimistic rollup is based on the confirmation of a set of trusted and fixed number of accounts. Its security is higher than the centralized solutions, but generally lower than the public chains. Since the Line node uses the same mechanism as the source chain to verify the data, it has the same level of security as the corresponding public chain. The bridge relay module is a separate public chain, and the scalability of the cross-chain bridge mainly refers to the scalability of the relay chain. If it's a single chain, there is a little or no scalability, but in a multi-chain system, rapid expansion can be achieved by adding subchains. As you can see, Tick Bridge uses the current best solutions. In the Tick Bridge system, all chains form a star topology centered on the relay chain. The star topology reduces the cross-chain complexity from n squared to n. That is, as long as the relay chain is connected, the cross-chain capability with all parallel chains will be obtained. Tick Bridge consists of three decentralized components: relay chain, on-chain contracts, and agents. The first decentralized component of Tick Bridge is the relay chain. The TIC relay chain is a public chain that uses a stronger dual consensus mechanism. The validators of the relay chain only provide a trustworthy general computing platform through the consensus and does not understand the detail of the cross-chain message. Because they don't understand, so they won't interfere. There are two terms need to be explained here. Cross chains between different parallel chains are what we call heterogeneous cross chains. The ability to transfer assets between subchains of a multi-chain system is called homogeneous cross chain. TIC relay chain natively enables asset transfer between subchains. The second decentralized component of TIC bridge is the on-chain smart contract. There are three types of on-chain contracts: light node contracts, relay contracts, and endpoint contracts. The light node contract uses the same mechanism as the source chain to verify the validity of cross-chain transactions. The relay contract receives the cross-chain request transaction, verify it with a light node contract, and routes it to the corresponding target chain. The endpoint contract also uses the light node contract to verify the transaction and calls the corresponding token contract to execute the transfer. All steps are transactions from source chain, relay chain, and target chain, so all details can be tweaked. The last decentralized component of TIC bridge is the chains. Each transaction on the chain must have a sender, so we use agents as the senders. Agent reads the source chain information and sends the transaction to the target chain. The transaction content is a cross-chain request that can be verified using the light node contract. Only requests verified by the light node contracts will be executed. There is no need to trust the sender. We trust the verification mechanism of the light node contract. That is to say, we use the trustless mechanism as opposed to multi-signature or optimistic rollups which require trust. In the term of technology, TIC bridge has four key advantages. The first one is security, fully decentralized components, and it is one of the cross-chain bridges with the highest level of security at present. Higher performance, cross-chain message will be forwarded to the target chain within 6 seconds after confirmed by the relay chain. Lower cost. Compared with the relay chain established by the fork of ETH, our cross-chain message cost is reduced by 60%. Scalability expands system capability by adding subchains to the relay chain. In the terms of governance, we have a three-level structure. First, all token holders have the right to vote on key decisions. Second, token holders are called validators after staking and can participate in the verification and auditing the blocks. Third, through a random algorithm, the validator is elected as a miner, participates in block packaging, take on corresponding duties and earn rewards. This is our development roadmap. We've completed the first step and built a simple demo prototype. In the next quarter, we will continue to optimize the protocol, onboard early ecosystem partners, and start community building. In the first half of 2024, we will continue to promote technology research and development, market promotion, and establish 100 validated nodes to prepare for the launch of the mainnet. Mainnet will be launched in July 2024. This table is our distribution plan. As you can see, 100 million tokens will be pre-mined at launch. 55% of which will be used as mining rewards. The market is competitive. Top projects shows a significant share of daily transaction volume. In current market environment, we have an independent multi-chain bridge structure with the highest security level, faster speed, and lower cost. So we have a big advantage. We have 4 main development strategies. Security first, fully decentralized, and build great products, improve our experience, collaborate with each public chain officially, and build and share community better together. In the plan, our main revenue source is cross-chain trading fees. Tickbridge assists users to maximizing their capital usage, earning income from commissions and fees. This is our core team. It is currently our angel round of the financial plan. We have already completed the work plan for Iran. We have cross technology risks, and investing in us now is like investing in other projects 0B round with angel round terms. So we hope that the investor, we welcome all the investors with abundant Web3 industry resources. That's all. Thank you. And any questions?
Okay, we hope you enjoyed the project showcase and scoring season. And thank you for your wonderful sharing. We will now take a short break to allow our judge to evaluate the project. Please take this opportunity to grab a refreshment and network with each other attendees. Thank you.
So we have sent the scoring results to the team's Telegram group chat, and if you have any questions or want to receive feedback from the judges, feel free to mingle and network. Yeah, thank you.
哎，走呗，掐一下子。
然后第三